wake up, baby, it's a Chelsea day. So blue, baby, that's chipping pain. Talking dreams while the sky stays bright. Rest your head, but not the night. Every morning, every go we see. In our hearts it's Chelsea, me and you, we can agree. Oh, take me out and stand with you, river you talk. When to tap I take you. Oh, Chelsea, we stand tall. We stand tall. Everywhere we give our all. Everywhere, yeah. Forever we're true. Together we rise, just me and you. In nights that you will go home, 3 hours away, so near to my home. It will look so late by in river. Whoa, whoa. In the blue, our spirits fly. With every cheer, we touch the sky. In this love, we find our way. Chelsea forever, day by day. Whoa, Chelsea, stands tall. Cover up with the hand. We give our all. Chelsea, forever we're true. Together we rise, just me and you. Hey, go wake up, baby, it's a Chelsea day. So blue, baby, that's chipping pain. Talking dreams while the sky stays bright. Rest your head, but not the night. Every morning, every go we see. In our hearts it's Chelsea, me and you, we can agree. Oh, take me out and stand with you, river you talk. When to tap I take you. Oh, Chelsea, we stand tall. We stand tall. Everywhere we give our all. Everywhere, yeah. Forever we're true. Together we rise, just me and you. In nights that you will go home, 3 hours away, so near to my home. It will look so late by in river. Whoa, whoa. In the blue, our spirits fly. With every cheer, we touch the sky. In this love, we find our way. Chelsea forever, day by day. Whoa, Chelsea, stands tall. Cover up with the hand. We give our all. Chelsea, forever we're true. Together we rise, just me and you. Hey, go wake up, baby, it's a Chelsea day. So blue, baby, that's chipping pain. Talking dreams while the sky stays bright. Rest your head, but not the night. Every morning, every go we see. In our hearts it's Chelsea, me and you, we can agree. Oh, take me out and stand with you, river you talk. When to tap I take you. Oh, Chelsea, we stand tall. made on my own. Evolap solipa in river. Whoa.
Yes, good people. Big up to all of you. I do appreciate you all finding the time to join me this particular evening. Thank you once again. We haven't streamed in a while. It feels like we haven't streamed like in 1,000 years. Not my fault. I have a lot going on, and until my in-laws come back, it will be difficult for us to stream consistently, except if we choose strictly the Blue Morning shows. But during that hour, the Blue Morning show hours, not much happens at the time, but we will find a solution, a permanent solution. But that's, by the way, some news items to talk, not a lot, but chances are we'll talk a lot about the small items we have lined up to talk about. Sorry, we'll talk about Douglas Luiz, and then we'll talk about Jeremy Jacquet, and then if we have time enough, the time is my daughter. Whenever my daughter wakes up, that's it. Because yeah, the boys and my wife, they're gone for swimming. So if in the process of the show my daughter wakes up as she's still napping right now, then yeah, that'd be the closing bell, for lack of a more relatable language. And I apologize for that, and that will not change until my in-laws come back. But that's by the way, I appreciate my bro as always, and my best, aka MBO5, for finding the time to join the conversation. And without wasting much of your time, I think it's important that we get to discussing the items we have lined up here. Give me 1 second. One I like, I looked at why, because I did a bit of research, because yeah, I didn't have time, why it makes sense for Chelsea to sign Douglas Luiz. There's some few points here. One, midfield injury crisis for us. Two, tactical flexibility for Liam Rosenior, and also low risk, high reward. Yep, he's played in the Premier League, played a lot of games, and I know people are actually comparing him with our loan signing of uh, Dennis Zakaria and one from Atletico Madrid. I can't quite remember his name, but I don't think it's the same. I think he will do a job for us. His Premier League experience, over 180 Premier League games, I think. You can argue he's been quite unlucky. For me, I'd say, in my opinion, what I used to think is his girlfriend has been quite a distraction. But that's just my personal opinion anyway. I'm not saying definitely that's the case. You know, from outside, when you look at certain situations, you draw conclusions. So I don't think it's right for me to be actually doing that. And in the chat already, we have 3 participants. One of them, the AI that's policing the chat for us. One, MBO5, Mabasa 5. The other one, the captain of the community in Constantine. Big up to you. And also, yeah, but the top chat there, MBO5, 7 entries in total. But that's by the way. Let's get to discussing Chelsea's interest in Douglas Luiz, and it looks like it's going to happen. No jokes. Let me do this. Give me 1 second here. The presentation window. Can I find it? I think that's it. All right, let's do like this first. Once again, there you go. Douglas Luiz. Yep, this reads Chelsea considering a move. Chelsea considering move to sign Douglas Luiz on loan for the remainder of the season. From Juventus, but Chelsea see. Okay, let me read that again. Chelsea considering move to sign Douglas Luiz on loan for the remainder of the season. The midfielder currently with Nottingham Forest from Juventus, but Chelsea see him as a good fit for Liam Rosenior's approach. Um, Look, he's a good player. We all know he is a Premier League experience. I wouldn't mind us assigning him more experience than actually the midfielders. I think Caicedo more experience than him in the Premier League. But overall, football wise, he's more experienced than Caicedo. Might not be. I don't know how many games he's played in total in his career because, yeah, you could say usually one of the older players are usually more experienced than the younger players because they lived in more. They live long. You can say long enough to get the chance, to get the opportunity to play more games than the younger ones. But I think this shows a bit of, you could say, reflects on how serious we are to make sure we don't finish this season, particular season, empty-handed. But this is a signing I would like to see for reasons I've talked about. And let me see. One, his experience, and we've actually started talks with his camp. And Fabrizio explained that we don't want the signing with an obligation for a permanent purchase. We want it with an option for a permanent purchase, which simply means you can say our plan is if he comes in, does a good job for us, and he's an excellent fit for the manager's preferred approach, then we trigger the option to buy him for a permanent purchase. He's an excellent player. The question is, has he been in good form? Apparently, for some reason, Sean Dyche doesn't really like him. But he's a good player. And let me give you reasons why I think we should definitely get it done. It's not like we're signing him on a permanent that he'd say if it doesn't work out, we're toast. The truth remains, even if it doesn't work out, we let him go. We still have options. Chances are, and I don't think maybe he gets to play right now because Sesugo seems like something is going on, or maybe we're planning to send him out on loan. Romeo Lavia hardly ever fit. And he brings tactical flexibility. Let me look at my notes here. One, Chelsea's midfield depth has been severely tested this season, and that's not a joke. Actually, that's a lot of truth there. Romeo Lavia and Dario Sigo have both been sidelined with recurring fitness issues, leaving a massive workload on Moises Caicedo and Denzel Fernandez. And Denzel Fernandez isn't traditionally a DM, and I get it. Andrea Santos, as good as he is, he's the least experienced of, again, those players that are available for selection, which means the manager probably, as I get it, he trusted him at Strasbourg and he did a good job for him. I think he operates differently. Traditionally, he's more of a hybrid of 8 and 6. But we need somebody as experienced as Douglas. I think it's pronounced Douglas Luiz. Luiz provides an immediate high quality cover to ensure the starters don't burn out. That's important. I get it. People don't understand the importance of rotation. The starters don't burn out as the club competes across 4 competitions: Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup. We still have a lot to play for this season. I get it. Some Chelsea fans are already saying, yeah, it's over. Probably because we're not competing for the Premier League, and a lot would want us to. But I've known since the start of the season that we're not quite there yet. Maybe next season, if we you could say take corrective measures. Tactical flexibility for Liam Rosenior. Under Rosenior, Chelsea is looking for system fit who can handle complex tactical roles, and he's experienced enough to do that. For me, I'd say what I've always thought, that his girlfriend, who seemed to sign for every club he signed for, maybe is a bit of, for me, distraction. It's a possibility. I'm just saying, as an outsider. Versatility: Luiz can operate as a deep lying playmaker, defensive midfielder if you want, or a more adventurous 8, box to box, or a hybrid of 8 and 6. This flexibility allows Rosenior to rotate his midfield without a changing team shape, or maybe adapting, you can say, employing a new approach, which can lead to players not, you can say, not performing to the max. It's a low risk with high reward. If should we succeed in signing him, the proposed deal is reportedly a 6-month loan, which is a low risk short-term fix. I agree. The Villa version, if Chelsea can rediscover the form Luiz showed at Aston Villa, where he was one of the league's most effective midfielders, which was why Juve signed him in the first place, they'd get a class of player for a fraction of his market value. And I think we can. This since has happened, it could go either way. It could turn out to be an awful decision. It could turn out to be a masterstroke. You never know. No long-term commitment. If he fails to adapt, similar to previous loan experiments like Saúl Ñíguez or Denis Zakaria, the club just, say bye, Felicia, which is why we're not willing. We're not willing to sign him to assign anything with an obligation for a permanent purchase. Okay, another point: mentorship and cultural fit. Luiz would join a growing South American contingent at Stamford Bridge. Andrea Santos as a mentor. Specifically, Luiz is seen as a potential mentor for fellow Brazilian youngsters. Andrea Santos, I agree. Having an experienced compatriot could accelerate Santos's development and integration into the first team. And also immediate integration. Luis already knows the league and speaks the language, meaning he won't require the typical adjustment period to bed in. I think this will be a good signing for us. One more point here, technical profile versus current options. While Chelsea has winners Caicedo, a ball progressor, a ball progressor in Enzo Fernandez, Luis offers a specific blend of both. Yep, that's the truth. He's a mashup of both the skill set you get from Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. Ball retention, despite his struggles at Forest under Shandaj, Luis remains a high volume passer with an accuracy rate typically above 85 to 88%, of fitting Rosenior's desire for a possession heavy style. So for me, I'm happy we're doing this. And hopefully we get the defender in. I don't think the window will close without us signing a defender. I think we understand the importance of bringing in reinforcement to ensure we're ready and equipped enough to compete on all fronts. But that's, by the way, I have our senior panelists on the panel here. We'll still get to the game, so be patient. It's Let's talk about this. It's a very, very hot topic right now, and I'm happy. I don't know why a lot of Chelsea fans don't want to see it happen. I want to see it happen. I think I get it. It could go either way, and it's the same. That's the same. You could argue the same for every signing. Every signing carries some measure of risk. I'm not going to complain. Let's do it. We have numbers there. If it doesn't work out, we still have players that can come in and do a good job. But before I bring on Bobby to speak on that, I want to catch up with a few of what we have in the chat here. Then I come to Bobby. Is he good? Luis is a good player. If you knew him before he joined Juventus, I think I think the issue, I don't know, but I have to research. When he joined Juve, I think managerial change was one of the reasons why he started struggling, and changing approach and all that. He's a good player, honestly. And I think he would want to come to Chelsea. And usually players of his, you could say, ilk maybe, or that find themselves in such situation, they're almost always eager to prove to the manager that hadn't used them or that don't value them that they actually are a much better player than they give them credit for. So he has motivation on his side. I believe at least that's something that's common with humans, wanting to prove others, yeah, you're wrong about me. Big up to you too, and that's my bro, by the way. Brianni Yahayu, aka Vivel FC, Jackson FC, who again, and the rest goes. The list goes on. I'd have to trigger Nightbot to help me spill those names, those nicknames. It's what's his name? Mod Mana is still learning, doesn't know all the name. You have too many of them that it would take Mod Mana a lot of time to actually know them all. What else do we have here? A big up to you to MBO5, and the Heast is here. Big up the Heast. Nice to see you, Chelsea Mitchell. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. You know what to do. Share the link to your YouTube channel so that people can go check it out. So I'm going to bring on Bobby right now. Everybody out. Yeah, I agree. Bring him. Yeah, exactly, Vic. He's an excellent player, in my opinion. Vic, if you have a good idea as to why he struggled at Juve, can you please let us know? I think probably a managerial change. But that's, by the way, Bobby, what do you make of the possibility of Douglas Luiz joining Chelsea? I'd say bring him. In my opinion, whether Moises Caicedo is a better player or not, or how the difference in their respective profiles doesn't matter right now. His Premier League experience, I think more Premier League games than Moises Caicedo, or overall more experience than Moises Caicedo, and that will make a huge difference for us. But Bobby, let's hear you.
Yeah, big up, coach. Yeah, I'm a bit undecided because I keep asking, why didn't he make it at Villa? Why didn't he make it at Juventus? Why
Villa
hasn't
wasn't
he
a
made
case of
it?
making it. He outgrew Villa. He had to move on, which is why you've assigned him.
Yeah, well, why didn't he make it there? Why didn't he make it at Forest?
That's why I've asked Vic. Vic is in the chat. I've asked him to educate us if he knows. I didn't follow his time at Juventus, but I know him quite well. He's a good player. Still, again, he's I don't know how many caps he has for Brazil. because he was a regular. Was yeah, I think it'd be accurate to say he was a regular for the Brazilian national team at the time when he
Well,
was. Mhm.
was being the operative word. I don't know. I'm not convinced. It's like this Jeremy Jacquet deal. We've been here before. Ooh, all the accounts say, "Oh, he's agreed with Chelsea," but the clubs are still talking. Once he gets down that road, it ain't happening. We've seen it before. If Chelsea get a player, they get the player. All this, the clubs are talking, is nonsense. So I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I really don't know. I have no. Um.
Okay, let me ask you. How about you speak about it from the perspective of the fact we're looking for an experienced player like him? Let's assume
mm,
he's still as good as he was at Villa, which was why you've assigned him in the first place. So I think definitely down to managerial merry-go-round at Juve led to him not getting the chance to play. And back at actually, he actually did well. I think he hasn't been that bad at Nottingham Forest. But I don't. You could argue he's not Sean Dyche's typical type of player. But let's look at it from the perspective of the fact that we're looking for more experienced players.
Yeah. I mean, what is he? 27 years old. Um. I don't know how many matches did he have for Forest,
He has, I think, he has 180 Premier League experience, Premier League games in total. I think that's the
and
number.
what's his fitness like?
Some people are saying he's injury prone, but
No,
that aspect isn't of much concern to me. He's fit right now,
it's
and
a
it's
lot of
the plan is to sign
concern.
him for 6 months, so we don't risk burning out our players. And remember, we already have numbers in that area.
Yeah, I don't want 6 months of him sitting on the injury table. If he's going to give 6 months, I don't know. I don't feel convinced, to be honest. There's something there that is not being said. I don't want a player who's going to come and after 2 or 3 games we start talking about, oh, he's injured, and then he's, 6 months. If he gives 6 months worth of service, then fine. But I don't know. I'm not convinced. I just look at these things as distractions, screens. We're talking about Jeremy
Jacquet.
Jacquet and
Mhm.
all that. That's not happening. I can't see that happening. If it does, I'll be interested. But once we start going down that sort of story, oh, he's agreed personal terms, but the club wants this and we want to pay this. Forget it. We know where we go with that.
Here's
So,
what we
Douglas,
we
this
can,
could
we
be a
can get to talk
distraction.
about Jeremy Jacquet is in my opinion, but we will elaborate on that when we get to his story. I'd rather us call back Mamadou Sa or even Anselmino. They're both
Yeah,
of the same
Mamadou Sarr is who
same bracket, and those players also they've done well. And
I would look at Mamadou
Mamadou
Sarr.
Sa tested in the Afcon final even before when because Koulibaly was injured and he didn't put his foot wrong.
Mm.
Excellent on the ball, reads the game very well. Box defending also is his thing. So for me, I'd say rather than overpay, bring those players back. But we get to
Yeah.
that topic in a bit. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I don't know. The last thing I want to see is just somebody come to Chelsea to occupy space. I can't remember the last time we brought in a loan or a midfield loan that's really kept us thirsty for him to stay on, apart from Jadon Sancho, who wasn't
Mhm.
fielder. We've had several midfield loans. Some of them did came and didn't even play. Really, one came and was always injured, and I don't know. It's just one that I can't really comment too
All
much
right.
on.
Let's hear what those in the chat has to say. I'm in a rush for this one because until my in-laws come back, even the issues is are gonna be very difficult. Morning ones will be fine, but because of my program now, I get tired at night and sometimes won't even hear my alarm ring. If my daughter wakes up right now, the show is over. I love to see him at Stamford Bridge to cover Caicedo. That's Mark Alhaji Abashi Keke Nawana. Elijah, nice to see you here. And remember to like the stream, people. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. The more likes we garner, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and be forced to push the stream to more people who would be interested in the topic we have lined up. What do we have here? Grass wasn't greener on the other side. Yeah, this is that's exactly what I was looking for. And Vic, thank you for that explanation there. It says that, let me say, he reads, he had persistent injury, but he's currently fit and has been fit for a while now. I don't know if did he suffer any injury setbacks since joining Nottingham Forest on loan? And
Well,
a
he hardly
difficult,
played. That's why.
but I think if the injuries were at Juventus, but let me pay attention. It says and the difficult relationship with Thiago Motta. Thiago Motta also he's lost his job, right? Didn't he? He lost the Juventus job. Do I live under a rock? I think I'm quite sure he lost the Juventus job. Could be a stink face. I mean, it could go either way. Even I said that at the start of the show. But it's low risk. We can actually do without him and still be all right. But having him will be a plus. Yeah. So it could go either way. It could go south or north. Thank you for saying hello to him, Modmana. Kovacic, Saul, Zakaria, Sancho, and Facundo. Yeah, Kovacic walked out very well. Zakaria could have walked also, but you could
Kovacic
say
wasn't
Potter didn't
alone.
just like him. Potter didn't use him. Sancho's worked. Facundo, no. Saul, no. Zakaria, not down to him, but down to the manager's approach, in my opinion. Go ahead, Bobby. You were saying something.
Kovacic wasn't alone.
No, he came out on loan first.
All right.
Yeah, it was a loan with an option for a permanent purchase. I think it was. I don't know whether it was an option or an obligation, but he did so well on loan that yeah, we signed him on a permanent. So he's worked out. The only one you could argue, Saúl, really not down to him also, in my opinion. Sancho worked out. Facundo, that may be the one I would say, yeah, didn't really work. Um, let's see. So he will be a good addition given his Premier League experience. He's a good player overall. I wouldn't say no to him. And we've already started talking to his camp. Chelsea have now made an approach to sign Douglas Luiz on loan. Talks on the way, and that's Chelsea Dodgers quoting Fabrizio Romano. And then some subsequent report, Chelsea doesn't want an obligation to buy Douglas Luiz, only a loan deal with eventually a buy option. I think that's the most sensible of the two. For me, you don't want to get stuck with a player that, yeah, after finding out that he will never work, you have no other option than to oblige. uh, because yeah, you signed a contract that says you must do so. What else do we have here? So this year, Chelsea wanted to invest something around 40 million euros, 45 million euros plus add-ons for Jeremy Jacquet, but Rennes insists on a club record sale, even more than a club record sale of around 64 million euros. And I think this is because they know other clubs are interested. And even now, according to Fabrizio Romano, other clubs have started making calls, making their interest known to Rennes. You could argue that's probably, definitely, in my opinion, one of the main reasons why they are reluctant to accept Chelsea's offer. At first, it was just us, and Dante did say that time that we're probably going to be in a rush, or maybe he did say something to the effect of, "We want to get this deal done now because in the summer, yeah, a lot more clubs will be interested. It's not even summer yet. We're hearing that other clubs are calling, and the reason why uh, other clubs are staying away is the asking price for the player at the moment. But in the summer, I think clubs will be willing to pay that. And I'm not. Listen, I know he's a good player, probably taller. I don't know whether he's taller than Sa and then Salmino. Looks like he's taller than them. Maybe. For me, I'm just going by how lanky he is, assuming that he's taller than those two, who both of which are a lot
Yeah.
bulkier than him.
Mamadou Sarr is 6'6".
Is he
He's
6'3"? So
exactly what we
Sa
need.
is taller than him.
Yeah, he's
But
exactly
okay,
what we need as a centre back.
Okay. So the truth is, I like him. The profile aren't exactly the same. Sa also, Sa actually, for me, from what I know so far, Sa is much more better on the ball, but he puts in more tackles than Sa, and I think he's a much better, not no, you could say more proactive than Sa. He behaves just like who's the defender that we had that did that? I think David Luiz leaves his line, stops. I think that's down to his ability to read the game. He doesn't wait for the defender to come out, for the player to get the ball, get a chance to turn around and continue. He tries to stop it a little bit above the 18-yard box. I think that's the difference. I'm going to pay attention a little more, but they differ. But I wouldn't mind Sa coming back and us forfeiting our pursuit of him if it's going to mean also overspending. It just wouldn't make any sort of sense. Let's see, Enzo, and nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. One day, thank you for joining the conversation. I appreciate you. Douglas is good, but I don't understand why you would bring in a midfielder while Santos is not getting this. How many games do we have? These guys are humans. How many games? And these guys are not, you could say, let's stick with Santos. Let me not just, you could say, stretch it by Adam Caicedo because I'm not sure which of the two players has more Premier League experience. He's more experienced than Santos. That doesn't mean Santos is not, won't be playing. We have a lot of games, and we want to make sure we're able to spread out the workload and not burn out one or two players. And anything can happen. We still have a lot of games to play. If one of them gets injured, that's it. Esugo doesn't look like he's ready to actually to be starting games. We know the story of one of our part-time players in Romeo Lavia. So no harm there. Clubs do this. So we're being proactive here, and I'm all for it. Hi to you, to Lucilla. Lucilla, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. So, Bobby, go ahead. There you go. You have the story there. The issue is the club's valuation, Rennes' valuation of the player, and how much we're willing to pay. And I'm all for it. The player also wants to join us. He's a great person at times with us. I've always known that doesn't guarantee he joins us because, yeah, there are a shortage of clubs interested in signing him. Arsenal actually wanted him last summer. Whether they're still interested, I don't know. I think Madrid also and Bayern too. But let's hear you.
Well, just like I said earlier, once it gets to this point, it usually doesn't happen. I think their valuation and our valuation is not close at all. You're talking of over 20 million pounds, or is it euros, whatever. It's in the millions. So I'm not sure about this one. I'm not gonna. I've tired myself from getting too mentally entangled in the transfer ding dong. Usually I think experience should have taught us that if a transfer is going to happen, it happens, unless it's something that is so expensive, like the Caicedo Enzo deal. And the Caicedo deal, was a bit ridiculous. I think we dragged that for so long and nearly lost that as well. So, um, yeah, I'm not sure about this one either. I'm not even sure it's going to happen.
It might end up not happening, but if it doesn't, if it ends up not happening, for me, not the end of the world. We still have capable players in Mahmoud Sarr and Anselmino. Anselmino, I get it, he's injury prone because of given what we know so far, but he's still very young and can eventually outgrow that. And you could say his isn't actually chronic. I don't think it is. But
Well, it
I
depends
just
what
don't
it
want us to
is. I
overpay.
don't
I
know.
just don't want us to overpay for uh Jacquet. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I mean, it depends what it is. It depends what kind of injury he has, um, for us to say whether it's chronic or not. But if he has been missing games regularly for Dortmund, then we need to be careful there. We need to stop filling our injury table with players. Yeah, Michi, I saw it. You're right. Mamadou Sarr, 6'4", which
You're
is,
just one off or two off.
yeah, two off. But that's what we need.
But the kid is tall. Yeah, the kid is
Yeah, he's
tall.
a good tall
Mhm.
size. He's good with his feet, physical. I didn't notice him too much in the air, But at six
No,
foot four,
again. You can say I can't say for certain whether I to go to the measure of saying he's excellent in the air, but I've seen enough to know that yeah, he's good enough in the air.
well, he should be. He
Yeah,
should be.
and at that age, he can only get better at it because yeah, the manager will see that as he could say as his shot one of his shortcomings and say you need to work on this. And at that age, as a footballer, there's still room for development. I think he will. But at his age, man, my, he is advanced, more advanced in terms of the way he applies himself on the pitch. Given that he's just, I think he's just still 20, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Look, the only thing about him is why I can't see that happening is that Strasbourg fans will go ballistic. You know, after having lost their manager, you
No,
take their
okay. You mean
first centre
Sa
back.
is actually just on loan? You know that, right?
Yeah, I know, but you know, they would feel hard done by. That you know, you're now loaning us players, and you don't even let them last the season.
Oh
So
yeah,
that is
yeah, yeah.
going to, especially when it's somebody that's key to them, like he is. So I can imagine they will leave him there till the end of the season. Well, let's see what happens with Jacquet, but I'm not particularly convinced that it's going to happen.
Yeah. Two
No,
games.
Michi Jacquet
Mhm.
is just under 6'2". It's just under
Jeremy
six
Jacquet.
foot
So,
two.
so yeah, Mahmoud Sai is taller, definitely taller than Salamina too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I want Sai back. I wanted him actually to stay when Enzo Maresca decided that he has to go on loan. I wasn't happy, but yeah, it was his decision. But I hope the kid comes back and cooks for us. For like a for more relatable language style, you can say appropriate maybe. Cook is is relatable. Yeah, that's just me there, and I think we'll be paying attention. I just want us to quickly talk about this game. And in all honesty, I'm disappointed from what I've seen from the community. A game that we deserve to win, we dominated, irrespective of how your team is, how good your team is. When you face 10, you can say nearly the entire 11 in the box, it's usually difficult to navigate. We were actually able to navigate them effectively, created a lot of good chances. A lot of good chances. One was ruled out unfairly, in my opinion. The Enzo Fernandez goal uh, should have stood. Why it was ruled out is senseless. It just doesn't make sense. I'll just stick with had that been in the Premier League, it would have been a goal because we had one. The Arsenal fan shoved our goalkeeper during a corner kick when they took a corner and leading to him not being able to reach the ball that he had gone for. For me, look, a deserved win with an XG of 1.85. We underperformed that XG because we didn't score at least two. But theirs is as AC of 0.14 for the entirety of the game. We had a good plan, and I urge people to go rewatch that game. 21 shots. How many corner kicks in total? We were on them. The manager knew exactly what he was doing. I don't want to start saying had that been Enzo America, chances are that game would have ended in a draw. We didn't give them a chance. Remember how many goals we were conceding Enzo Maresca. He's focused. You can say if you watch his approach, watch the way our players applied themselves on the pitch, you could see that he's gotten us to start defending as a unit. Players start tracking whoever they were marking from their attacking area to our defense, and that helped us a lot. They weren't able to exploit spaces in behind when they had the opportunity to counter. He's making huge progress in a few days, and kudos to him for not opting to change a lot. He's continuing with his predecessors. You can say the basics of his predecessor to make it easier for the players to adapt. But if anything, the aggressive man marking is new, and it helped us. We won the game. Again, we deserved to win, and people were saying it was a poor game. What made it a poor game? Because we didn't score 10 goals? Man City lost. What team was that they lost to? Yet they played beautiful. beautifully as usual, keeping the ball going sideways, backwards, rotating, circulating the ball up, down, but weren't able to score. They ended up scoring one. And that, what's the name of that? Your opponent could have scored up to 5 goals actually on the day. But look what we did to Pafos. We reduced them to 0.14 xg and finished with xg of 1.85, even though they had the entire team, even their bench and their manager in the box defending. And people are still complaining. I'll take it. If people are saying, yeah, we were lucky to have beaten Brentford by 2 goals to nothing, that, yeah, that the result was flattering, then, yeah, that 1-0 win against Pafos, definitely flattering. Because, yeah, we could have won that game by 3 goals to nothing. And one, in my opinion, ruled out unfairly, irrespective of what anybody tells me. But I think it's just that we have developed a culture of negativity that, irrespective of what the result is, will still find a reason to complain. And something else I've learned these days, I don't just say things for the sake of me being able to speak. Here's the thing. I think we have that culture. You can say we have too many big accounts who you can say have over time grown. They you could say grew their account by finding creative ways. You could say by developing. You could say the ability to be able to find the negativity, to look at every situation, irrespective of how well you think we've done on the day. They've gotten good at finding a negative. What's the language I'm looking for? They find, you could say, to find a negative twist to every situation that has anything to do with Chelsea. So when they cannot do that, they don't get views or clicks. So for them to continue in the trajectory of their growth, they have to almost always find a negative twist to every situation. And it's concerning, really. I get it. We weren't at our best, but to say we were awful, it was shocking to watch. Just echoing the narrative of the big accounts, it's really shameful, and it has gotten to a point where some of our fans are not able to think independently. They just wait until their favorite content creators say something on X, they take it and run with it, or until he releases the match review video, they take it and run with it. I cannot believe some of the videos I saw, some leading their presentation on the match review by saying that was awful, that was shameful, that wasn't Chelsea. What do you want us to do? To go throw the ball into the net with our hands, or maybe start punching the Pafos players, kicking them, or driving them off the pitch with machete to score? We created good enough chances, could have scored up to 4 or 5 goals. I'm not sure what else to say, but Bobby, let's hear your thoughts on the game. I'm happy we won. We've been there before. I remember people slating Enzo Maresca when we lost that game in the group stage in the Club World Cup, saying, "Yeah, well, it was done." I said, "Yeah, we're out of the competition." When we ended up winning the competition, and we didn't just win it, we did beat the current at the time, the Paris Saint Germain, who won before that game, won tons of games without losing none, especially in that competition in particular, tons of trophies. Then, yeah, we beat them and mopped the stadium carpet with them. And because of the loss against, it was the loss against Fulham, Rich Moneymaker was in the chat telling us how definitely we're losing against Brentford. Yeah, because we lost to Fulham. He didn't want to even consider the reason why we didn't have, you can say, a lot of our starting players on the day. But that's, by the way, Bobby, let's hear your thoughts on the game. For me, it wasn't
Yeah.
the best of performances. It wasn't the worst either. We were
Well,
professional, defended like, yeah, we didn't score, but we reduced them to 0.14 xg for the entirety of the game.
yeah,
Let's
well,
hear you, Bobby.
yeah, I mean, I look at it this way. Liam Rosenior, that was his fourth game for Chelsea. of which he's won three, he including this game. He has not had any training time with the team, and he's been proving himself to be more pragmatic than he was ever given credit for. Not just here, I'm not saying it for
No, but
here, I'm just
I
saying
get
it
your
in
point, Bobby.
general. And we broke down the low block several times. We even scored. I thoroughly agree. I think Enzo Fernandez goal was a goal.
It was that
Um,
unfairly ruled out. Yeah.
we even scored. We took several shots that really was saved at the goalkeeper by the goalkeeper. Could they have been angled a bit more? I guess that's arguable. But was the low block broken? Even by the number of players they kept behind the ball. Yes, it was. And eventually we got the goal through an unlikely source in an unlikely way. I don't have much to complain about the performance. I think that's football. Sometimes they go like that in a game like that, and it was Liam Rosenior's first
Champions
ever
League.
Champions League game.
Mhm.
So those that are criticizing, it's unfortunate. We've had this conversation before. Chelsea have had to, well, not have had to, just modern life and evolution has meant that Chelsea football fan base has spread out. Locally we have a bigger cross section of people, and internationally we have a huge cross section of people. To be fair, internationally, it's not really where we get a lot of the issues, although we do have one or two
Mhm.
that are a bit odd. But then we have people, because of COVID and the advent of the social media and content creation. Chelsea Football Club, fan base is probably the biggest in social media, if not amongst the biggest. We have a massive social media presence, and there are many that look for clicks, they look for attention, and some have formed the habit of feasting off negative attention around Chelsea because
And cannot
they
do otherwise.
yeah, because they've noticed that Chelsea have had much upheaval since the sale, and every time certain things happen, the fan base gets anxious and concerned, and they rush to hear the news. It's like this thing with the transfers. They go on and on and on and on and on, and then it doesn't happen, and so on. So that's one side, and then there's the other side of fans that actually enjoy uh, uh, talking problems into Chelsea. They love it. Oh, um, Enzo Fernandez is off to wherever.
Mhm.
Oh, Cole Palmer wants to go to this and that. All
Yeah, wants
absolute
to go back to
nonsense.
Manchester United. He's
You know,
homesick. Blah blah
they're
blah
just
blah blah blah.
some fool somewhere who doesn't like Chelsea anyway, or is trying to cause mischief, or is trying to push it onto the other club, or is trying to
Or
get
maybe
the
the other club
agent.
could be sponsoring that to
Well,
test the
yeah,
waters.
there you go. Or the agent is trying to do something. And the thing about our fan base is, rather than go to any other fan base, they'll look at it, shrug their shoulders, and move on. But our fan base, rather than just look at it, shrug our shoulders, and move on, one or two of them, because there's this thirst. Oh, I'm clever. I have all the knowledge. I need to put this out there. And so we post a lot of nonsense, and it regurgitates, and it gets stuck with some fans that can't think for themselves. It's like the protests. It's silly.
We did tell them how it was going to turn out. It would just be a waste of
Yeah,
time. We
yeah.
respected those, even though we didn't agree with them. Those that planned
That
it, they
want to
had
do
good
it. Yeah,
points. They
yeah,
had good
yeah.
points to present, and but we knew that it would be eventually they'd have a mix of those that would be screaming this person out, the other person out. And on the day, I heard they were busy singing Tottenham song.
Well,
Uh,
I don't know. I don't know about that. Singing for Enzo
oh my
Maresca,
goodness.
singing Roman Abramovich. I can't be against that because he is he's legendary in this
I,
club.
I mean, I don't have an
So,
issue with that, but I'm just saying we knew the
so,
before time that yeah, it was just you could say some
so,
people finding the opportunity to go be part of something they'd be proud of, feeling
so
you could say a sense of you could say should I say sense of involvement or belonging and all that,
well,
and
that's
that's it.
it's silly, all
Yeah,
this Bali out, Bowley out, Feliciano. I mean, it gets childish, it gets inflammatory, and it's unnecessary. Yeah, the sporting directors, you can put out a banner, buy us better players or something like that, but to start targeting individuals, these guys have come together and spent what 1.5 billion on
and
players.
you think you can force them
they
out?
they they're not doing it because they want to create a buy and sell situation. They know, well, you can't sustain football that way anyway. If it's just about commercializing it, you're going to end up relegated
They
and
know
lose
that,
everything.
and
Exactly.
yeah,
They know
that's
that
stupid.
they know that football, especially when you buy a club like Chelsea, it is predicated on success. They need to build a stadium, they need to be successful, they need to have a successful team. The only reason they've gone down this route is because of PSR and FFP. And the second phase of PSR, which has kicked in, which creates the algorithm based on the lowest earning club, which caps your wages in a nutshell. And so they've been smart about it and got players that can grow with the financial base of the club, that are young enough to be thirsty enough to do that, young enough to have value, and have so many of them that they can turn over. Have they got some things wrong? Absolutely, they have. Sterling, the Koulibalis, and all that. They were lucky to get rid of some. They're still stuck with Sterling, and now they're sort of U-turning with what's the guy? Desassi. Have they did they get things wrong in the summer? I think Liam Delap was the right buy. I think Jao Pedro was the right buy, but I do think that Garnacho was the wrong buy. I don't have too much against the
You know,
purchase
honestly, I was gonna ask you for your
of
ID if you
of
didn't say that.
of Gittins, but Gittins is too far down in his development to have made that
But
gamble
you
of
still don't
not.
know Gittins very well.
Oh,
Don't worry, we'll
well,
get him
he's
there.
still
You still don't
developing,
know
but
him.
he has, but we have made a gamble of not having somebody ahead of him in development in order to ease him in. Yes, he's easing in. I think Hato was a wise buy, but even he needed time to ease in. And I have to say, I don't know whether I said it on this platform or Michi Boy's platform, or I've forgotten the other platform I went to in recent times. But I do think that Maresca, there were several things he did that is questionable. One of them is Jarell Hatto. He killed that boy's spirit. The boy came on, he looked frightened to play for Maresca. Now you see him playing. Did yesterday? I mean, against this team, did you see all the dribbles he made? Did you see the defensive
Did I
work
not tell
he
you he's
made?
more technically gifted than Kukurea? I'm not
I
saying
think,
I don't want
I
us to
think,
start comparing them, but it
yeah,
is
I
what it
think
is.
so. I think
Kukurea
he's
is more experienced.
I think his
Kukurea,
ceiling
go ahead, brother.
his ceiling is higher. I really
Yep,
believe that.
absolutely.
He has quality as long as you don't do a Dante and go and put him as a centre back. He cannot be centre back at Chelsea. He simply is not tall enough. That's just not that is just stupidity. But he, because of his centre back instincts, he helps a lot defensively. I think he probably helps out better defensively than
He's
Cucurella.
actually
Cucurella gets
since
caught
the
out.
departure of our last manager. I know this. I still love him. He's
He's
made
performed
about
better.
three. You could say three last ditch
Scored
defensive efforts
one.
that ensured we didn't concede goals. I think
Yeah,
about three, four of them
scored a
actually.
goal and
Mhm.
has made very good attempts as he did yesterday. So I think his progression is going to evolve faster because he's got a manager who's encouraging him and putting his arm around him. He's 19 years old. What Maresca did to him at Karabag
Here's
or
why.
after, and
Here's
I
why
even
I'm not
think,
gonna. You know, I've
if I can
refused to blame
finish,
Maresca.
coach, I even think that probably, looking at him now, his bad performance against Karabag might have been because of
I
excess pressure from
but I'm
Maresca.
going to say this with all due respect. I don't blame Maresca for what happened. Maresca actually was, you could say, giving him game time, and the games he played under Maresca at the time, people were saying he wasn't good enough, but I was arguing otherwise. Hadn't played that much for Chelsea at the
What
time, but
games did he
showed,
play under
you could say,
Maresca,
we
coach?
were able to see
What
flashes of
games?
what he's capable of doing.
What
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 happened,
games?
in my opinion, I don't think Maresca did him dirty. In my opinion, what happened, that performance against Karabakh, and if Maresca didn't, here's one thing Maresca did on that day, that Champions League game, he let him finish the game. He could have hauled him off. He could have taken him off the moment it was clear that he was, you could say, very. He became very, very nervous after the first and second mistakes he made on the day. But he finished this game. He did finish the game strongly from the second half onwards. I think Maresca. What I thought at the time, just he needed to leave him off. You could say off his selection process for a while so that he recovers and will start giving him game time again during cup games, and he did just that. I think we're judging him unfairly when it comes to that. Really, no,
No,
he did.
I'm not gonna make an argument of that because I don't know, and it's a reasonable suggestion. But all I'm saying is that back
I
to
mean,
the
it's
initial point of the
believable. It's just
protest.
because in my case, it's just the difference is that I paid attention to what happened, and I strongly believe he didn't mean to. You could say um, he didn't mean to leave him out on papers. No, didn't like him. He liked him, gave him
If I can
game
finish
time,
this
and was
point.
easing him out in gradually, in my opinion. But go ahead.
Now, back to the point of the protest. Now, the issue, quite frankly, here is that it's pointless. We know that they have made mistakes. We know that they have a team full of youth and probably need one or two bits of experience hanging around the dressing room. And maybe this Douglas Luiz is that, but I don't think so because I think the kind of experience these boys need is a winner, a known and proven winner. I don't really see what value this guy is going to bring to us. I mean, what has he achieved? What will he do? I don't know. Maybe he will do. Some players, they go to certain clubs and it brings out, the best in them that other clubs couldn't. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, we shall have to see. I think it will happen somehow. I
It looks
really
like it's
do.
going to happen. He would want it to because the World Cup, yeah, is near. He would want to get a chance to show Carlo Ancelotti that he still got it in him. And I mean, it's a low risk. So it would be a low risk signing. We're not committing too much, not with an obligation for a permanent purchase, but an option eventually, as Fabrizio worded it. Go for it. It's simple. That's my opinion. But let me catch up. We have Dante on the panel. We'll go to him to hear his opinion, what he thinks about Chelsea signing uh, uh, what's his name? Douglas Luiz on loan. Okay, big up to you too, Tebe. Ooh, I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular evening. You and I are fighting war on X, and I'm enjoying it. Okay, let's see. That's Mod Mana responding to Vic there. Let me read what he says for once. Let me see what he says to Vic. You're probably right, mate. If Rosenior isn't playing them, then he just doesn't fancy them. Okay, simple as that. And with Romeo still out, we need options in the middle. In it, look at him trying to be British. All right, let's see. Big up to you too. What else do we have here? Ty, up big to you. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Hi to you too, Miss Melina. Nice to see you, my sister, my Canadian sister. Always nice to have you here. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. I did trigger the command for Miss Melina. Where is it? Where's the command?
Is Miss Nolina this? I see the Arsenal fan that
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. She is
An
secretly
Arsenal fan.
secretly a Chelsea
Yeah,
fan.
she must be a Chelsea fan.
Secretly a Chelsea
She's
fan. Yeah.
always here. She wanna join us. You can join us. You know,
But
we're
she can,
not
she
we're
knows she
not.
can. She knows she can. She's a good friend of mine anyway.
You know,
Yeah.
you can switch allegiance. We don't mind that as long
Yeah.
as
Nobody will know.
I think we'll all know. But you know, we've seen her thirst for Chelsea, which is all good. You know, follow your
No,
heart.
I think the truth remains is just an excellent football analyst, knowledgeable of the game, and speaks. You can say there's no team you'd bring up that she doesn't know of their current. You can say where
Yeah,
they are with
I
everything.
was I was joking. I was.
Yeah. No, no, but I know you were joking. I know. People go and subscribe to Miss Melina's YouTube channel. She covers all EPL clubs and beyond. See the link there. Make sure to let her know I sent you. What else do we have here? Question for the panel: is the bomb squad a failure? All right, that's an interesting one, and I'm gonna say no. Um, but why did I even say no?
What do you mean? If is the bomb squad a failure? I don't understand. Who's
Whether
in?
you can say, I'd say no because you don't want players, you don't want them. You make it clear to them you don't want them.
Yeah, there's only two left, isn't there?
Yeah, and there's only
And
two left,
one has
so I wouldn't
joined
say it's a
the
failure.
main
Yeah,
squad, and the other one, I think there was the rumors of him going to Napoli. Sterling.
yeah, because look, we had about seven of them, or how many of them, and we have just two left. So I wouldn't say it's a failure, and made a lot of profit from a lot of them. So I wouldn't say no, it's a failure, and I don't even call them that. I just call them players that are surplus to requirement. And I think now, given the fact that Rosenior is reintegrating, what's his name? The CC showed you that it was all, what's his name? All Enzo Maresca's decision to leave them out. Because Sestin, let's look at it. Let's look at this particular topic deeper than usual. Usually, we just leave it, discuss it at the surface level. That some believe that the club just want them gone, not the manager. If the club want them gone, wouldn't they be better of having the players in the squad playing games, and it'd be a lot easier to sell them, especially after, in the case of what's his name, in the case of the former English international in Raheem Sterling. Yeah, we still, again, if you think the club just, you could say I'm not sure how it just doesn't make sense for people saying that the club wants certain players to play so that they can make money, a lot, get a good, you could say, get a good fee for their sale. Why not have Raheem Sterling be part of the squad? At least he can play a few games, like cup games, especially at the time where we had a few players out injured. So for me, but I digress. Let's get back to Rosenior
I think part
reintegrating
of
as
that has
Firmino,
something to do with the fact that he's not registered for the Premier League squad.
and can be registered. He can be registered.
Well, they may not want him to take up a space.
Space. Okay. But let's be fact. The reason I had to mention it is to touch on a few points that makes it clear that, yeah, it was, the club didn't just, you could say, don't force the manager to play certain players so that they can make good money from their sale. Then why not do the same for Raheem Sterling and let him be gone as quickly as possible and save a lot of money from his wages, if that has always been the case. So, but people in most cases, they argue and argue blindly, you know. So I'm gonna catch up. Then I'll go ahead if you're still something. I wanted to catch up and bring in Dante to hear his opinion. More likes, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. 24 people. And how many likes in total? Let me look at it from Mod Manor. 18 likes. We can do a lot better than that. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Mod Manor, I'm not going to be reading your comment. I agree. Marenska was killing some players' talent. Wow. Okay, let's see. Right there, Officer Rasim. I wouldn't say he killed people's talent. I wouldn't go to that extent, in my opinion. Cuckoo played it 90 minutes every game at a time. That wasn't sensible. I think he overplayed them. While certain players where we could have done otherwise in certain games. But yeah, in some cases also he had no option than to play those players. I have some argument with regards to the balance of the two squads that he was rotating at the time, but I don't want to get into that right now. I remember him being a good player. Okay, yeah. All right. What else do we have here? Highly appreciate. Okay, just having a good conversation. Good evening to you too, Chelsea. Ultra nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. I didn't know Bobby was capable of sarcasm. He always sounds like he clocked out from choking pigeons to death. Wow. Don't write such. I'm not going to read it again. Starling is a worse player than Garnacho. I never want to see Wage stealing clowns ever kick a ball again at Chelsea. All right. Abby says that the signing of Ruiz, is it Louis? Is it Douglas Luiz? Is this pronounced Ruiz?
Douglas Luiz.
Is Luis, yeah. Is to help Caicedo and Enzo. Remember, Caicedo did say recently Rosenior wants them to play more midfield football, and it has been challenging because the Premier League is man to man and physical. And I think they'd be doing a lot of running for Rosenior, which means, yeah, we need depth. The aggressive man to man is not a joke. It helps a lot, but for it to be effective, a lot of running is involved, which means you never, if you lose your man in the attacking area, you track them back. You don't leave them for anybody to do the job for you. Let's see. And Rich Moneymaker says, yeah, great. Big up to you too. Nice to have you on the panel. Rich Moneymakers in the chat, so to speak. I do hope you're doing well. He says, great. We're finally getting experienced players. We are not selling Cole Palmer. Duh. We're not. I know that. Enzo, Rich James, Kokorea. Okay. And another good season. I am still against the SDS because we need experienced centre backs. Revenue is important. Essentially, next season, the owners have to show more ambition. Look, I think in terms of revenue, trust me, I think we will overtake a lot of Premier League teams. The stadium, lack of, you could say, a fitting stadium, in my opinion, that hasn't helped. But I think they will find ways. And I'm not concerned with the lack of front of shirt sponsor. And I'm going to say what I've said before. I'm quite sure we have a lot of offers, but they don't want to. Would it be correct to say short sell? They don't want to sell it for cheap, and they know what they're doing. They didn't become billionaires. They didn't become billionaires by accident or by being dumb. They're very smart, in all honesty, and patience. It takes patience also to become a billionaire. Never in a hurry. Short-term gratification isn't their thing. I had to do it. Chimera, just go out. So Dante, thank you for joining us on the panel. The captain of the community in Constantine Dante. Big up to you, Dante. Let's hear you. Douglas Luiz, do you want him or not? And believe me, I'm on your side today. I'm not going to read Tubeho's comment where he wants you out because I don't like him. He's fighting with me on X. He's fighting.
He's
He
very
even told
emotional
me. He
these
even
days.
told me on X he doesn't want to hear nonsense anymore. I said, "Look at this bro. I'm going to punch you one day."
What are you fighting about?
No,
I
not
know
serious fight. Not
Toledo.
serious fight. You know that kind of friendly fight.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
Toledo's a good guy. He's one
yeah.
of the
I
top
think the
leaders.
fight on X was on about who was it? I can't quite remember. But Dante, let's hear
Douglas
you.
Luiz.
Was it Ruiz? I don't remember which one. But Dante, go ahead.
It's either that or sporting directors. There's only the sporting directors the problem. So yeah,
And he tags them. He tags them
he
in all of
tags
his
them. He
tweets.
messages them every day. Good morning, good night, to sleep. He tells them what he does during the day. When he's pissed off, he has a go at them, abuses them. So yeah, it's his little thing at the moment. So that's fine. He can run with it.
Go ahead. Is it
um,
pronounced Douglas? I think it's pronounced Douglas,
Douglas, yeah, Louis
not
Douglas.
Douglas.
It
Douglas.
depends. It depends
I heard
what
Fabrizio
accent
Romano
you have.
pronounce it Douglas. That's
Yeah,
it.
well, I mean, if you're gonna
Potato,
Brazilian, that's a
potato,
Brazilian accent would say it that way, mate.
tomato,
Yes.
tomato. It depends.
It depends, but we know Douglas works for me because that's the spelling of Douglas.
Yeah, look, I
Good.
mean, yeah, it just depends how you pronounce it. You just call him Louise, that's fine. Yeah, look, he's an experienced guy, but there is some. I mean, he hasn't really played, to be honest. He's been injured a lot. He hasn't really played or
Has he
fitted
been
in at.
injured since joining Nottingham Forest?
He hasn't played much at all, to be honest, because one, he was injured, and I don't think he's really fitted into that squad very well. So I think he was going to move anyway. Uh, so it's just an opportunity we're taking. Might need some extra cover just in case. We're going to have a lot of games coming up, and if we go further in some of the tournaments, we're going to have a lot more games. So it's just a bit of cover. I think we haven't signed him yet, so we're not sure, but it's just an opportunity, a bit of cover. If he can stay fit, he's a very good player, but that is the big question with him. His injury career is not very good. He's had a very rough time with it. Basically, injured every 2-3 weeks, and then he gets an injury, and then out for 3 weeks. Then he's back 2 weeks. So that's not ideal. Um, Obviously, they'll need to look into it to see how his situation is at the moment, but that is the big worry for him. Quality wise, he's a quality player. He's got experience. He's a Brazilian international, well, was. Um, so he's a very good player. He's physical. He's very technical. A little bit on the slower side. He's more of a possession type guy, but he would do.
Deep
He
line
will really
playmaker.
help fill out that void if someone gets injured unexpected from now to the rest of the season. Well, you've got someone there at least that can step in. Apparently, Asugo's had a setback, so he might be out longer. Lavia, we're waiting for him to come back, so we're not sure when that'll be. End of the month, apparently. So we'll wait and see if he comes back. So there's still a bit of a cloud over some players. So this is just an insurance policy, basically, and they're looking to it. There is a few connections there as well. Let's not. He was at an academy. He was at Manchester City. Sorry. So when he was younger,
Was he at
and
Manchester City?
yeah, Manchester City bought him and then loaned him to their sister club, Girona in Spain. He was loaned out a couple of times. He never actually played for Man City, but yeah, he was then sold after that. But he was in that system early on. Yes. Yeah. So there's a few connections there with that as well.
But he's
So
a baller if he can stay fit.
he's a baller if he can stay fit. And we haven't seen him for that long because he hasn't really played or fitted in with the
When
Nottingham
you say
Forest.
it
So
down to Sean Dyche's, it's an overly pragmatic approach sometimes, in my opinion.
yeah, that, and I just think he hasn't fitted in. Maybe for many other reasons. Injury obviously is one of them, but he just hasn't really been favored there. So it's a question mark. It just depends, where he is, what's happening with his fitness, where his head is at. We'll have to wait and see. Otherwise, player wise, quality wise, yeah, he's a very good player. He'll be a very good addition to that midfield, 100%. Yeah.
Got your goals too.
Yeah, yeah. He sits a bit deeper though. He sits a bit more
So the
deeper. He likes
negative for you is the injury.
injury number one, and I'm just not sure if he's the player he was before because of the injury and because he hasn't played for a while. Because, like I said, he hasn't really. The loans haven't worked out at all, really. To be honest, he went back
But
to
he's
obviously.
done well for them. Weren't they, I think in Europe, he played some European games, even under Sean Dyche won, I
He's
think.
only played a total of 13 games for Nottingham Forest, and that's most of them are substitute. Some of them are substitutes, so he hardly has played for Forest at all. To be honest, 13 games, that's nothing in the season. So, like I said, we have to wait and see. Is he past it? Is he not? Maybe he's not interested anymore. He's not into it. Who knows? We don't know. But it didn't really work out. When he was on loan, he went back to Juventus. It didn't work out there. He came back to Villa. Didn't really work out there. Then he went to Forest. Hasn't worked out there. So that's the only question mark. To be honest, he hasn't really worked out wherever he's gone the last 2 or 3 times.
All right, let me catch up here. I'm not reading that. And Tavell says that I will tag them until they sign top players because they want to replace him, Lavia and Esugo, with an injury-prone player. It doesn't make sense. They're not replacing him. You can say an insurance, maybe. Um, yeah,
Camara was saying something about no to Douglas. We've got Santos. I think another reason they are looking at Douglas Luiz is height and physicality. They need some height in that midfield.
He's not tall, Bobby, so that's not an.
Yeah, but he's taller than what we have.
He's the same height as they're pretty much the same. There's no. He's a little bit maybe
I
stronger.
don't
Or really,
Google it
actually,
and
no.
check his
He's probably
height.
like
I
Enzo
think
Fernandez, to be honest.
no, he's taller than that. Check his height.
I'll check.
I remember him from playing against Villa. He never did well against us, but he's a physical presence. He is. Um,
Bobby, he's
Bobby, I think
shorter
he's
than.
short. Wait, let's
He's actually
confirm.
shorter than both
Yeah, he's short.
Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Like I said, he's not tall.
what's his height?
Let's
175.
look at it. Hold on. Douglas Luiz height
175.
5'9".
Oh, that is
Yeah,
small.
he's short. I think it's just the experience, and you could say his overall ball playing ability.
He's a technical player
Yeah,
that
highly
it's a bit
technical
deeper,
actually.
likes big play, tempo, very like Enzo sort of Fernandez, but sits a bit deeper. And I think, like what you said there with Santos, well, I think Enzo's
Go
going
ahead,
to play
Dante.
more up front now. He's going to play probably more 10. And you're going to have to. What if Santos gets injured? What if Caicedo gets injured? Well, it's just the insurance cover, basically. I think it's a low risk for us. They can't get anyone else, so they just might as well do it. They might take a punt on him because he's got the quality. It's just, is he ready to go? Is his head's where it's supposed to be? That's the only question. But quality-wise, he's a very good player. Yeah.
You can say the most
It
important
it
question.
sounds too much like a gamble to
It,
me.
it
It is
is
a
it, it
gamble.
is a risk. Yeah.
I mean, in January now, it's always going to be a gamble. I mean, this is what a loan is like this. It's going to be a gamble.
All right, let's see. Just imagine he cannot make it into the Forest team. I think it's not down to his playing ability, injuries, and maybe the manager's approach. And I think I've watched him one European game where he was one of their best players on the day. Actually, sounds like a proper Charles Dante because he's injury prone. Yeah, exactly. That makes him proper Charles. Promote Reggie, Paul Winsterley, everything. What kind of insurance is this, Dante? Just shit. Dante out, as my boss says. That's Miss Melina. They're ganging up on you. What did you do,
Yeah,
Dante?
Miss Melina doesn't like me anymore. I don't know
She
what's happened.
doesn't.
She's every
Yeah.
time she comes, she says Dante out. I don't know what I did. I have no idea.
All right. Stay fit. Stay fit. At his age, just forget it. It won't happen. I think they're gonna get him anyway. I don't think not too much of a risk, in my opinion, because we still have numbers in that area, except if they're planning to send Esugo out on loan. Let's see, no longer a very good player. I mean, it's people that happens. He can keep. We can keep Esugo. Esugo, they haven't seen him in training for a while. Maybe that's probably the reason. For how many days now? People say that
He's
he
had a
hasn't.
setback, coach. He's had a
Yeah, so
setback.
exactly. So probably that maybe that's the reason why we're looking at Douglas. At 13 games in hospital, hospital bed. But maybe another Saul. I think he has a lot more to offer than Saul. Less of a risk because yeah, he's played 180 games in the Premier League. Esugo not back. He suffered a setback. We're hearing. He's short. Okay, 6'6". Who's 6'6"? No longer physical, Bobby. Did, can you stop being physical? Can that actually happen? Dante out. Coach, when are you joining me? Whenever you invite me, then I will
You,
take a look at my schedule.
you can if you're injury prone. You start running away from tackles and things like that. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. More likes, people. More likes. We still have 38 people following the show. 20 likes. I know we haven't. And this show was actually postponed 3 times, right? This particular one. Uh, It's funny. But we'll find a
Thanks.
solution. My in-laws will be back soon. I like Douglas Luiz, not for footballing reasons, coach. He's very appealing on the eyes, but he is an average footballer. Is he really an average footballer? Okay, if that's how you say it. Here's one thing I've always thought about is that his girlfriend, uh, English is English, right? Maybe she's been a distraction in my opinion. Maybe that's the reason why you can say he's regressed in recent years. Big up to you to Spot Rants and Bants. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining the conversation. Hope we're all good. I'm good. Bring him as soon as possible. We need any help we can get now. He's also a good player.
Coach,
Some are saying worse.
you're talking
Sorry,
about Alicia Lehman, the Australian.
is it Australian? Right, the girlfriend.
She's Swiss, but like she's Australian. Yeah,
Okay,
she's
people
Belgian.
use her for TikTok. For the TikTok trend. So you
Yeah.
see, you can say girls showing Alicia showing up to their boyfriend, and then pause the video and say, "What is her shirt number?" But you know what the guys pay attention to.
Look, she's known for having a very,
Yeah. Just leave it there.
a very
You're not
nice,
sending me to hell.
a very nice, pass on
Yeah.
her. She's got a great pass.
You know what, Bobby? You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the day Bobby kept telling us how he called into I think Sky Sports or a show, talking about how he was trying to tell us how he spoke to the lady there, and he said, "I gave it to her." I will never forget that day. I
Your mind
nearly
goes,
stopped the show because I couldn't stop laughing.
your mind goes to all sorts, Coach.
I have a very dirty mind. I'm not
No,
gonna
no.
lie, but I'll still go. I'll still make it to heaven anyway.
You'll be forgiven, Coach. It's fine.
Thank you for telling me that. Of the Chelsea Mastermind, Chelsea FC, thank you for joining the conversation. I appreciate you. Mod Mana is our AI, still trained, can be feisty. Make an adjustment to it. What else do you have here? Anything else? Alicia, yeah, serious distraction to the guy, really. Lemon, she signed for Leicester City women and signed for Juventus women before, right? When the
Yes.
guy
Yeah.
went to Juventus, yeah.
She was at
Um,
Aston Villa originally, so they know each other from there. And
yeah, so
then,
they were moving together.
yeah, then she went Juventus, and now she's back in England, and they're back, together. So basically, so yeah.
Yeah. More likes, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I don't think we will make even 50 likes today, but let's see. You know her, right? Yeah, I do know her too. They use her for TikTok. Um, yeah, Mitchie knows that. So Dante, the game. Here's what I want to talk about. The question I asked Bobby about the game. Chelsea fans downplaying that win because we didn't win by more than a goal. Maybe the content creators in question, I don't want to name names, they didn't look at what the numbers say. It wasn't like, you could say, I agree, the low block did frustrate us. And as I've said before, they had the entire team, the entire 11 behind the ball, their staff, their coach, their fans behind the ball. It was difficult, but our approach worked. We carved them open. Even Badiashile had one that he flicked for, who was it? Was it Hato? But didn't put it away. Hato or Ganacho. We carved them open severally. Could have scored more than 3 goals in that game. One was unfairly ruled out, in my opinion. Anybody, you have every right to disagree with that one. But my point is, why are our fans like that? Just because you could say some of them, you could argue, wanted us to lose. So they'd
Exactly.
start saying, you could say, yeah, screaming, I told you guys he wasn't good enough. The players aren't good enough. But we played better than I've seen us play against a team that defended that deep and had so many shots that I've seen us have against a team that defended that deep in a while.
5 big chances.
5 big chances, and we limited them to
0.
just 0.14 xg for the entirety of the game. And the way we played, which you could argue was the only difference. I like the fact that he isn't changing much. He's pretty much going with the basics of Maresca's approach, which makes sense. But the aggressive man-to-man helped a lot. If you lose your man, better follow him to our defensive. If you lose your man in the attacking phase, follow him to our defensive phase or
Yep.
to the defensive phase, and it helped. They didn't get a chance to actually counter that many times, and
Only
some
once, really.
people.
That's it.
Yeah, I watched one of the videos and I nearly threw up. The gentleman in question actually started the presentation by saying, "I know you will all expect me to start talking about how we played well, but didn't score, how we created lunches, but that it was nonsense. How do you expect it to be? Do you want us to take a baseball bat and start, you could say, knocking them out to get a chance to score?" But let's
Look,
say
Coach,
that thing.
I know who you're talking about exactly. He's a Maresca fan. He always loved Maresca and what he did and his tactics and his, everything about Maresca. So he's basically said he doesn't like Rosenior. He wants him to fail because he's not good enough and he doesn't deserve this job, basically, in a way.
A lot of people want him to. You could say they just want him. They want him to fail. They want the club to fail as long as Bluco leaves the club. But here's the thing: one
Pretty
thing
much.
that they have refused to learn is that they are in the minority.
Yes. No, there's a lot of them. Let's not
Yeah,
say they're a minority.
but they're
There's a
still in the
lot of.
minority.
Yes, they are. Well, the owners, they're not going to pay attention to
Yeah,
that. They
go
don't care
ahead.
about that. The directors don't care about that. Tebergo can message them 10 times a day. They're not looking at that. They don't care about that. Yeah, look, the game was, I saw a lot of Chelsea fans really complaining. I didn't watch it. I only started watching from halftime and then I went back and watched the first half. So, because it was a weird time for me. But um, apparently so many Chelsea fans left at halftime. Like she left the game. They went to the game and they left. Like uh, like a pretty large number left the game because they couldn't believe what they were seeing and how bad it was. And I'm like, all right, I'll go. I'll watch the after the game. Go back and watch the first half. It wasn't that bad. Pafos had 11 men behind the ball, the nastiest low block you can imagine, and we
The
created.
nastiest I've ever seen. Like,
Look, it's a game plan they were going to come in
yeah,
to do. They've got no option. They haven't got the players. They haven't got the quality. This is how they've been getting some points and actually getting a win as well. So it's worked for them. So they're just doing what they're strong at and what they're good at, and that's defend and maybe catch a goal in the break and surprise the team. Uh, this is what the game plan was. And those games are not going to be pretty. What do people want to see when there's 24 players in one half of football? Sorry, not half of, even less than half of football, because we were past the halfway line. Basically, in a quarter of the pitch, there's 24 players. What exciting stuff you want to see? It's not going to be a free flowing football. It's not going to be pretty, but we still created a lot of chances. We still opened them up, and we probably should have scored. Had a dead set penalty again, and
oh
like you
yeah,
said,
the penalty, right?
yeah, the penalty was another penalty. I don't know why. They came out and said after the game that they made a mistake. UEFA, I saw they messaged that that was a mistake and that was a penalty. So at least a bit late, but at least they admitted it. But that doesn't help us now. But anyway, the Enzo Fernandez one in the Premier League, that's not a foul. In Europe, look, it's up to the referee. Those referees in Europe, they're much more, just any little touch and they blow for a free kick. So it is what it is. But completely outplayed them. Like I said, we had very good chances. Should have scored more. We didn't, but we've got the win. We've got the points. We're in the top 8, and that's what matters. It's in our hands. The last day of it's in our hands to qualify for that top 8. So yeah, look, it's not wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed watching the game, to be honest, because we don't see that nasty low block, and I wanted to see how we deal with it. How we did. I think we dealt with it very well, to be honest. I think we've opened them up. Like I said, 5 really good chances. We opened them up. Could have been more, but I think we navigated pretty well. Like I said,
We did. We didn't even They didn't even get a chance for a counter, and that's down to our application on the day.
yeah, they had one counter where they nearly scored. That's the counter they had when they nearly scored. They clipped the outside of the post, and that's the only one really. The rest was nothing. Jorgensen didn't have. He did well, and then Sanchez, he only touched the ball once. He had a punch in the whole second half. So, I mean, just tells you, how dominant we were even after when we were 1-0 up. We were still, controlling the game very well. So Yeah, look, I don't know why people. It's just in a bit of an agenda. Unfortunately, they just want to see Chelsea fail
And
now.
some
And they
that
want to see
really, a lot, we could say, there are a lot of them out there that want the club to fail. In all honesty, some you question whether,
too many, too many.
yeah,
Yeah,
some
way too
clearly you
many.
could say over time patterns have emerged that show, yeah, they're fair weather fans. Only when we win, that's fine. When we struggle, but in this case, we're not even struggling. It's just that they're bent on downplaying the fact that we won a game. We didn't win by more than one. It's an issue. We won 2-0 against Brentford. They're saying we were lucky, but XG showed actually we finished the game with more XG than them, didn't we? I'll check
Exactly.
again. But I get it. It was we didn't really play that well, but we won. Results
We
is
won. It's not like
important.
we lost. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not like we actually won the game, and it's a dirty way of winning it. But that's what that called. Sometimes you got to win that way because that's what the opposition is going to give you. Only they're not going to give you a good game or a proper game. I don't know why.
How many times did you enjoy games under Mourinho?
Exactly. So, yeah, like I said, I haven't seen one like that for a long time. That nasty, that low block. So I actually enjoyed the game because it was different, and I actually enjoyed watching the patterns, how we're trying to open them up, and what we're trying to do. So I was
We
looking
got
more
them
at the,
confused severally, just didn't take our chances.
yeah, I was looking more of the technical stuff, who's running where, what they're doing, the positioning, what the idea is, what the
A
philosophy is,
lot of
what's trying to
interchanges.
do. Yep. Yep.
That got them confused. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Anyone heard that the Palmer is homesick? Spot runs and bands. I just like saying your name, but I think that's absolute horse dunk. He's been sick, first of all. Not he's not been fully fit, struggled of late. So they're just exploiting that because it makes sense to a lot of Chelsea fans. Um, it's just that you can say I have if you put out one now suggesting the reason that he's been talking with Enzo Maresca and is not happy that the club fired him. Then yeah, I've seen one something similar story that suggested that yeah, if Enzo Maresca takes over at Manchester City, that he's definitely going to join him. But that's by the way. I just wanted to let people know once again. Currently, the issue with him is his form, to an extent, confidence. But
And his
please, let me
fitness.
warn you, you're
His
not going to
fitness
see
helps.
Parma you experienced under Pochettino. Why? We're more of a unit than we were. It's no longer about him. And I've said this 1,000 times. At the time, we had a lot of hero moments, and he took advantage of them, didn't miss any. But it's no longer about him. Even towards the end of the season, last season, it became the case. And irrespective of how well we play, or even when he becomes 100%, you're still not going to see that Parma that we experienced under Pochettino. He will still have his magic. He's still a special player. He makes us stronger, but we're more of a unit than we were at the time. There won't be a lot of hero moments for him to exploit. Bear that in mind. If he goes to United now, maybe he will shine definitely because yeah, they're not that much of a unit. I don't for reason maybe too many changes or so. Rosenior is boring. If that's how you see it, fine. I know you just want me to talk to you, but I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you to who says it. Liam Rosenior promised us exciting football. I know you were joking when you say that. Yeah, Tavera says, Keaton, I think it's hard to implement his style because we are playing a lot of matches. But please stop playing Rich James and Malagusta together. I hate it. You think he's stupid? He doesn't want to change too much. He's sticking with what he knows Maresca did that worked. But changes will be the change. He can say he will still. He can say he will still make changes, but it's going to be gradual, which is a sensible thing to do. If he tries to make changes in a drastic manner, he will probably players will become confused. It's better, but we will take time for Liam to change it. Yeah, and I think he's being smart about it. Kindly go check out Teboho's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Did he share the link? I don't know, but I'll check. Rich Moneymaker says that Dante out. We need experienced centre backs, and everyone can see it except us, stupid Iqbal. Can you stop name calling him? I'm going to start reading your comments when I see that. Contribute to the conversation, please. Wake up, people, or we will end up losing top players. We're not losing anybody. NATO is at risk. If he goes another 18 years old, potential will replace him. We're not looking to sell NATO. I think we've talked about that 1,000 times here. Chelsea, and even though he's been in bad form, you could say mixed form maybe. Chelsea aren't looking to sell him. You think what they do is nurture players and sell them? No, you'd have to push to leave and aggressively actually before they say, you know what, this guy's his head is turned. Bye, Felicia. People go and check out Tabeho's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Let's see what else we have here. Trust the process. All important. I think we just need defensive signings, in my opinion, and maybe one attacker as they want. If we go to Arsenal playing like this, who told you it's going to be like that? The difference is they defend the entire team. Even their fans were inside that 18-yard box. It's not going to be like that. Yeah. I will support Liam. I want to say you don't have to. You can support the manager. It's important. Because yeah, if you support him, you support the team, and it makes sense. Let's say, yeah, everything you said there. Sell the CC to Strasbourg. Maybe Liam likes him. Maybe he likes him, but we'll find out. Makes sense. What else do we have? Yeah, it says he felt it was exploitation of his injuries. Okay. Let's see. We need to tweak the project. Just bring in experienced CVs. They have the plans, and you can't force them to do it. They will do it eventually. We were playing at home against Pafos, and we play Marlow and Reece James. Remember, even at that, it's important to remember the Gittins wasn't fully fit. Yeah. And if Neto goes, we have Quenda. I am happy about that, so I'm not worried. I don't want Neto to go, irrespective of what some Chelsea fans think about him. They saw a stat suggesting that he's broken the record for lack of unsuccess for the number of unsuccessful crosses he had. I think was it in a single game or so. And Chelsea fans started amplifying it. We don't know how to be the 12th man, unfortunately. A change now will backfire. I don't think we're looking to change too much, in my opinion. Rosenior will need time to implement his master plan, especially without preseason. If he's starting from where Maresca left, he should avoid inverting. No, he he's still gonna be doing that. He's smart. I didn't expect him to be, you could say, as pragmatic as I've seen him be. That game, the way we played against Brentford was on purpose. It wasn't accidental. It looked dirty, but it got us the result. As Bobby said during the review of that game, we are Brentford. And for me, that was excellent. Yes, 15 crosses in a single game. I wouldn't amplify such if I see it, but of course, Chelsea fans already started hating him before that happened. Yeah. People don't understand Liam Rosenior and Enzo Maresca are similar. They're similar in so many ways, in my opinion. In a lot of ways, maybe. But yeah, he has something like the aggressive man marking. Maresca do that sometimes too. He does. He did do that sometimes. But that's by the way, Dante. Anything else you want to talk about the game before we see if anything new emerged? Which I don't think.
Yeah, not too much. I think we said everything about the game. Like, yeah, Rosenior's still working it out. He hasn't had time to train much, and especially with the virus going through the squad, they haven't had much. A lot of the players didn't train. Some of the more key players. So he hasn't really had time, and he won't have time because every 2-3 days you travel or there's a game. So until the next sort of break comes, and after, when he's not going to have time, and that's why I think he's playing it this way. Mixing it up a little bit, keeping more of the shape and formation that Maresca played. So I do think he will change that eventually, and slowly he will change that when he gets a bit more time to actually implement that at training. Right now, every 2 to 3 days, you're planning for the next game. You're working on that, and you're working again opposition analysis and how to play against that opposition. So there's no time for him to do the other stuff, unfortunately. So I think he will. There's signs there that he will do that, but when, we'll wait and see.
Hey, let's talk about this quickly. This particular comment here, which reads, it says that Quenda is potential. I'd say he's a good player. You could say still have some development to do, but I wouldn't just stick him in the category of potential. He's played a lot of games at this age. You know, what's his name? Wanted him at United, right? His former manager.
Yeah.
But we were able to convince him to join us over other clubs that wanted him. Quenda is potential. Pedro Neto has experience. We need to stop bringing in potential, start bringing in experienced players. A few players, but they are too stubborn. Quenda comes, Neto stays. Both will be here. I think we'll still get one or two players not happy that will eventually push to leave 26-27 season. But I don't think Pedro Neto will be one of them. But Dante, let's say would you just you could say stick with Quenda being just potential. I think it's actually better in, I wouldn't say all the wingers, that you could say 50% of the wingers we have right now.
He is, yeah. Look, he's he's a very different type of winger. He's physical, strong, technical, fast. He's got everything. He's got absolutely everything. It's just about keeps his head straight and everything else, and he's going to have a very, very successful career at Chelsea if he does that. So, even though Neto is his senior and even in the national squad the same, but he's
Oh,
there pushing.
has he gotten the Portuguese national team call up?
I think he has. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. Yeah, not official games. I think just friendlies, but he's pushing. That's what I mean. He's pushing. That's the next one. He's pushing that door, and don't be surprised. He can next year. He
I
can
mean,
easily
he's good
overtake Neto.
enough if he plays for Sporting CP a lot of games, goals, assists.
Yeah, yeah.
Why not?
He puts this. Especially this season. Before he got injured, now he was putting up really good numbers, playing really well. Really taking another step in his develop, another step up. So so it's a shame he got injured, but look, he's got a massive potential. It doesn't just have potential. He's already very good now, and
He's already experienced.
he's already experienced. Very, very good. He's already physical. He's a very strong. He's probably as strong as, if not stronger than Neto at the moment. That's how strong this kid is. So he's got everything to succeed in the Premier League, 100%. And he can come in and he can. Don't be surprised he nails the starting roll down. That's how good he is.
He gets you goals. Defensively, he's solid. Offensively, he's solid. He can create chances, and you cannot muscle him off the ball easily.
Yeah, and he's played wing back as well, and that just another notch in his bow because he can do it defensively as well, and he's got that running power as well. So he's, like I said, for a manager like Rosenior, well, that's a jackpot for him there because like versatile forward basically, and can do wing back roles, no problem as well. He's done that under at Sporting as well. So yeah, look, he's like I said, he's not just potential. He's already very good. He's past potential, in my opinion. It's just him, adapting to the Premier League. But like I said, he's got the skill set for the Premier League. He's got the physicality. He's got the strength. He's got everything needed to succeed. So yeah, look, I think
He wasn't actually born in Portugal.
Where was he born?
I don't think he was born in Portugal, but he moved to Portugal, had an accident. So there are his backstory. I don't know that much, but I don't think he was born in Portugal. But go ahead, what you're saying. Let me check and be sure.
Look it up, coach. I'm not quite sure. Where he's from exactly, but like I said, he's built for the Premier League. His physicality, his strength, his speed, his technical. He's got everything that you need. That young players like him would be coming, and you say, okay, like Esteval. Well, Esteval hasn't quite got the physicality yet. He hasn't got quite that yet. Well, this kid has all that already, so he's ready to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was born in Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I read something about his story. But he was very, very young when his parents moved to Portugal. I can't quite remember the story, but go ahead.
Yep. So yeah, yeah, I think he's going to be a hit next season, just like Esteval was early. I think he'll be the same next season.
Yeah, he will. He got. I think there was a time some statistics was floating around. He has created more chances than Lamine Yamal or so. I can't quite remember.
He's quite the creator as well. Yeah, he's very
Yeah,
creative.
he's an excellent creator.
He
Yeah.
likes assist first, so he's an assist guy first, and he always looks up. So he's perfect weight, and he can play that 10 role as well, no problem. He's done that under Sporting as well. So, like I said, he's very versatile. Can play the 10, can play the wings, can play the wing back. He's basically a modern, perfect for a coach, a modern footballer that is very versatile, can play anywhere on the pitch, basically. So, yeah,
Such a tool for the manager.
he's a tool for the manager, and that's why Rosenior will like him a lot. If Rosenior's here next season and everything goes well, I can guarantee Rosenior will be playing him a lot. He likes that type of player a lot. That's his type of guy.
All right. If you're in the chat, if you have any questions, drop it. Otherwise, we'll be rounding off soon. I will only give facts. Nobody. Listen, we're not fighting over that. Dante is giving our players. I'm not reading that. Let's see what else we have here. Modmana is hijacked. I think he's just answering questions on his own. I turned it on. Crystal Palace will be a low block. Possibly, but yeah, I'm not concerned. I think we can navigate them, and I think Esther will start that one definitely. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. People, we're getting closer and closer to 30K subscribers. We're 29 plus right now. Yeah, you wrote to 30K, and thank you for saying that, Rich Money Makers. What else do we have here? And if you have any questions, drop in the chat. We'll try to
It's
address
not a
that.
lie. No, it's not a lie. He's been called up. Look
Okay.
it up, Tobago. Before you call me a liar, look it up.
No, I think he's just pulling your legs. He knows. We are acting like wolves, replacing players with players that are not used to the Premier League. Remember, guys, we're all well, we are after follow the UEFA deal because of the recruitment mess by Estes. Let's see what else we have here. Another gamble once again. It's not a gamble. We've already signed them. That he's a player that United won. A whole host of European clubs wanted him. It's not a gamble, and it's not doesn't mean Neto leaves. We're not potential club next season. We are supposed to be challenging for the league. He actually one of the players that will make us league challenges. There aren't too many of his kind in world football right now. You can say as tactically flexible as him in terms of playing in multiple positions. He's able to play in the 10 as a winger, as a fullback. He's that good. Master Michael CFC captains new contract Sal Kuku and Enzo bringing two dominant centre backs. Wow. Okay, let's see what the club does. Best regards to you too. That's cellular epic core. Be very careful about what you two be very careful anyway. Let's see if Chelsea want a midfielder. There's someone who is available at Wolves. Who? Nemo. Let's hear it. And if you're in the chat, if you have any questions, drop it before we call it a day. I don't want after my daughter, she's done well, still napping when we stream for 1 hour 48 minutes. I don't want her to stand up now and start you can say screaming. Although sometimes she wakes up, if she doesn't see me there, she just relax. But I don't want that to happen. All right, anybody, if you have any questions and you're in the chat, drop it and we will try to address it. Dante, I haven't asked you, have you been following the Jeremy Jacquet to Chelsea story? What do you make of where we're at with that? It looks like probably it's not going to happen because Fabrizio reports that all the clubs, there are other clubs that are interested and they've shown interest, which because Rennes, they know. If they don't sell him now, they'd get a lot more money in the summer. And you did mention how even if we don't get him now, we're probably pushing because we don't necessarily need him now. That you think we're pushing to sign him because in the summer it's going to be a lot difficult. It looks like that might be part of the case, but let's hear you.
Yeah, look, obviously, they want a record signing. They want, for a defender, they want quite a lot. they sell some really good offensive players for less than that. So they want a lot, but he's got a contract. They can ask what they want, what they think is fair. If we want to pay it now in January, we pay it now. I think they want to pay it, and he wants to go on. They want him to stay on loan as well to the end of the season. If that's the conditions, and he's our top target, number one, well then you do it. And if you have the money to do it, you do it now. Wrap it up, and he comes next season. Simple as that. It's either comes now or next season. Is it going to make a big difference right now if he comes in? Probably make a little bit of a difference because he's very, very good, but you never know, and you never know. He can get injured. So there's a lot of, variables. But if we really want him, they'll pay. One thing, they will not overpay, not ridiculous. They just won't do that. And, Rennes, yeah, they're being a bit silly because they want so much for a defender. Yes, he's touted as a generational, type of young defender, number one prospect coming up pretty much in the world. So, yeah, look, if we get him, we get him. If we don't, it means they were a bit too unreasonable. They wanted too much, and we're going to wait for the summer. It's simple as that. We probably have a figure in mind. We probably can't pay what they want or how much. We might not have that limit, that amount to pay that much, maybe. So, there's a lot of factors to take in consideration. So, and like you said, there is a lot of clubs that will want him, especially in the summer. The young man and his agent maybe are just keeping their options open as well. Maybe he's waiting for the offers. He wants to, evaluate. But if Chelsea want him now, they need to pay over, and he's going to stay there on loan to the end of the season. So,
And given, you could say that the difference in how much they're asking and how much you're willing to pay, it doesn't look like we're going to push through.
we're up to 48 million with add-ons. They want 60 million, basically, pounds with add-ons.
So around 15, how much?
12 million pounds, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, if we have it available now, again, like I said, the structure depends how the structure of the contract is, payment terms, upfront. There's a lot of variables that we don't know. So, and how much we can actually pay now. So, like I said, at the end of the season, the new rules come in and they change. That they're getting tweaked. So, a lot more clubs will have more money, and we'll have more money as well. A lot more money, anyway. So we've obviously.
There's still a chance. The fact that there are talks are ongoing, and we've agreed personal terms with them. That personal terms not a guarantee, but the fact that we're talking with the club, there's a chance.
Yeah, look, someone's there. One of the directors is there, so they're negotiating. They're working on it, but is it going to get done? Well, could go down to the end of the window, most likely, because they're not going to budge. We're probably trying to set the terms that's favorable for us, obviously. So we'll see what happens. If you really want him, we'll get him, and we'll just pay overs. The only thing that might stop us, like I said, maybe we can't pay that extra 10 million because we can't, because then we'll be in trouble. So that might be the reason as well.
So maybe chances that you can say they'll find a solution. I really like him, but if we miss out, we still have Mahmoud Sarr and then Salmino. Mahmoud Sarr especially, exactly. I think he's an excellent defender, and he proved that in the AFCON final. He was excellent.
Yeah. He'll be here next season as well. 100% he'll be here next season.
Yeah, and not easy to come in for Koulibaly and still do as well as he did at a very young age. That change, you can say that changes, in my opinion, in so many ways changes the trajectory of his career, or you could say changes how people see him. A lot of people.
It makes him a winner as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
I know Bobby's quite big on that. Players, especially young, winning with teams, winning something like that at a major tournament. For him, it's a very big tournament. It's a major tournament. So, yeah, look, that's a great experience. That can only add, to it, that experience of winning. So, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I do agree. So here, and that's 18 records. Say the players need to take more risk. I think we're doing that. Malagusa did say something that suggests they have more freedom under Enzo Maresca, under Rosenior than Maresca. But if you that like, it's something that you when you pay that if you watch that post game interview, maybe it's something you could say. That sometimes they say the detail is in what wasn't said. You have to pay attention to understand that was exactly what he meant there. Rosenior gives players a lot of freedom. Everyone hit the like button and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. 51 people following the show. Yeah, we have 26 likes. That at least following the show on YouTube in total 108, 51 on YouTube. The rest is shared between X and Facebook, or that equally. I don't know. Do you know the Andre that Tobejo is referencing here? I think he's talking about a player he'd like us to sign.
No, from where?
He says from what club did you mention? Really? I read it. I can't remember, but I'm just gonna move on because I don't like Tobejo.
Oh, the Wolves guy. I think the Wolves from Wolves.
Yeah. Wolves. I think he said Wolves.
Okay. Yeah.
Rains are crazy. Indeed, they are. Where's Bobby? Probably dozing off. It's late, really late for him. He knows he can come in if he has anything to say. Big up to you too, Makim Liam. Nice to see you.
No, I'm
Tillisman.
here, but
Okay,
you told me
Tillisman
to
in,
send.
Enzo Fernandez out. It's not going to happen. I still like Enzo Fernandez more than him. Enzo Fernandez is a more complete player than Tillisman. But I have to say, Tillisman, he surprised me given how well he's done at Aston Villa. He's actually one of their best players. But I wouldn't. Okay, a swap deal, even with some money, actually.
Isn't he
I
like
would not.
29 already, Tillemans, or something like that? He's not young.
I really don't care about his age, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't. Enzo Fernandez is still one of the best players in the Premier League. We need a defender now. Leave him and we move on. I think we're gonna get one now, or recall, either him or we recall one of our defenders, or maybe since the Sassi is being reintegrated, we might just say no. And the Sassi integration speaks. Reintegration speaks volumes that we're looking for numbers, we're looking for squad depth given the schedule. But Mike and Nim, nice to see you. And Rich Moneymaker says that I have been told they might get Sa according to my sources. We might get him. I think he should just come straight to the club from you can say his exploits at AFCON. Enzo, our crowd need to be addressed. This is insane. Arsenal fans are not trying to sell Declan Rice. This is a sickness in our fan base. That's Samar Kwasi. Samar Kwasi must be a Ghanaian brother. 288 for my West African brother. Here's the thing. I've stopped trying to explain people what he brings to the table. He's actually, even under Rosenior, he's actually still one of our best, you can say, most important players. He was under Pochettino. He was under, what's his name? Even under Potter. Under Maresca, he was. Even when people thought, that's it. As long as with the moment Romeo Lavia recovers, he's never going to play. And unfortunately, that was down to lack of understanding of how football works. Or maybe lack of understanding of how Enzo Maresca prefers to approach the game. We knew at the time that Maresca's focus was just to sort out defensive issues we had at the time. But we told people here, okay, we're going to be solid defensively, but we're not going to be scoring a lot. Did it happen? It happened. Yeah. And he might not be directly involved, like being the guy to provide the immediate assist, but usually he's the one that, irrespective of how many players you have on him or how deep he is before he gets the ball, he's the one that's capable of finding the guy that will make the assist. He's that good. Maresca utilized them differently, but I think Rosenior wants to be using him a bit deeper. In my opinion, I get Vince's opinion, and I'd like to debate that with Vince, actually. People are concerned about the defensive aspect of the game when he's deployed as a deep lying playmaker. I'd take his vision, where I'd take, you could say, a role where he'd utilize his vision even more, because he'd be more, listen, because his vision is his strength. It simply means the deeper he operates, the more effective it be. Maybe he's not going to get a lot of goals from a deeper position, but he'd help your team a lot in so many ways. He's the, he's the quickest at progressing the ball because he doesn't need the first touch actually to orchestrate a pass that will displace plenty of the opposition players and get to the person that will make the assist.
That's because he knows his next pass before he receives the ball.
Exactly.
He's got
So the deeper
IQ,
he
high
plays,
IQ.
the more effective it'd be with us. He'd be for us. But that could lead to him not scoring a lot of goals. And I'm okay with it. And usually when you play him as a pairing, as one of the two sixes, he usually operates as a hybrid. Even with it, you don't necessarily, you could say, utilize him in a traditional manner, like being disciplined and saying deeper all the time. And he moves with the ball, which could lead to him finding himself in the final third and in the box and putting away chances. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand him, and I've heard had people like my friend Ryan, aka Calito, argue that he's too slow for the Premier League, blah blah blah, and I've been telling them, and he cannot be physical. That's another argument, and I told him, look, you don't know him. I've said this 1,000 times. He can be physical, and if
He
he
doesn't
doesn't
run
want
much,
you to
coach,
get the ball
apparently.
away from you, you won't. But of course, as a typical South American, he'd rather draw a foul than battle it out with you. Depends on where he is on the pitch. But unfortunately, he's that sort of player that a lot of fans don't understand. And the average fan understand three things. I think three, yeah. Win, draw, or lose. And how they talk about the game, what defines how they discuss a game, uh, they don't look beyond the result.
Well, there is goals and assists. That's one.
Exactly.
And who's been our number one goal and assist guy for the last 20 months?
Yeah, if going by numbers is your thing, if you don't feel like eye test, if you feel like eye test shows he doesn't do well, and the club aren't looking to sell him, they value him, they know. All the managers we've had know how good he is, and he's a leader too. You think it was by accident after the racist scandal, if you want to call it that, that he was made a captain a few months after that, because they know they want him. They want everything to settle down immediately. They wanted to calm him down. They wanted to show him, look, yeah, we understand what happened, and you've apologized publicly. You agreed you made a mistake. We've moved on, and we want to show you we still trust you. You think
And
it
I
was
think you
by
see,
accident? No.
you can see from Maresca the leadership. Look, people don't remember. Look at Rosenior now. Who are all those messages that went out from Rosenior, and what has Rosenior said about him after games, and after that, he speaks very highly of him. Basically, calls him the leader in the group, and if you see all the messages that went out, him reading the papers, everything went to him to distribute to the other players and to tell everyone what to do. Well, that just tells you he's got the IQ. He's got the locker room too. I think everybody respects him, and I think he's probably the leader in that locker room, in my opinion. I think he's more of a leader than Reece James.
He's
Some
not
people might
just
not
one
like
of the
that.
most vocal, he leads by example too.
Yes, but overall, I think Enzo's got the it factor where he's got that a bit over James. James is just a different type of leader, but uh, you know, I think we've seen it
James
now with
leads by
Maresca,
example
and we've
too.
seen it with
Mhm.
Liam Rosenior now early. We've seen it how much he goes to Enzo Fernandez. He's the one he's been going to every single time.
Yeah, the tactical flexibility and everything, his ability to adapt to tactical changes. That's huge. Enzo our crowd, yeah, I think it's lack of understanding of what he brings to the table. Saad does have winning mentality, but I still want experience. Okay, maybe you will get it, but I think with Saad will be all right in my opinion. Mudrik is clear of who. Go away. You just like to pull my leg. Good night to you too. I appreciate you.
He might be back soon as well, coach.
Go ahead.
Mudrik might be back soon. We'll see what happens.
Is that okay? Can you talk about that a bit? How serious is that, really?
Well, if we're going by, there's some rumors. Well, apparently some are not true, some are true. He's actually done some cryptic, you know,
So
tweets and Instagram stuff.
that suggests he'll be back soon.
Yes, and a very important date on the 27th is exactly 2 years since the ban. So if we go by history and how bans work and how it's
Man,
always
times
2 years.
fly.
It's always 2 years. It's always minimum 2 years. That's the number that everyone's kind of come back. If they're not found really bad guilty, they've been out, they'll be out. The 2 years is that minimum. That's why I said long time. He'll be out 2 years. I already knew he was going to be out 2 years. So on the 27th of this month is the 2 year. So that is the date. If he comes back, he's coming back then. And like I said, he's tweeted and Instagram and stuff. He's put stuff out there that suggests, and that's why some people are saying that, yeah, and then they've kind of put one and one together, and they've realized that's the date, and he's still a Chelsea player on the website everywhere. The Chelsea's still backing him, so they haven't let him go. Which, if he was completely guilty, not coming back, I think they would have let him go by now,
They
because
would have removed him from the site too.
exactly, of course, and it
You
helps.
say they'd be in the process of telling what's this former club that we're not going to pay you everything. Look what happened. But they left him on the club's website, which means they've always had the hope that he'd eventually come back.
Yeah, and like I said, that's the history kind of with this thing. 2 years is that when you're not really guilty, like proper, like as in 100%, you're guilty as in you did it on purpose, etc. It's circumstantial. You're still guilty, but circumstantial, but you're going to be at a minimum 2 years. That's basically if you look at the history of this stuff, like Pogba, etc. So yes, that is the date. So I think that's why people are kind of bringing it up. So if he comes back on the 27th, well, then we'll know.
Yeah. All right, let me catch up here. Next season will still follow eventually. It's still there. We have plenty of money. Got screwed up with UEFA deal. Let's see. We need players to help Cole Palmer. Enzo isn't a 10. Enzo out, mate. Okay, if that's what rocks your world, enjoy it. Be happy. I'm glad you're happy. At least you're able to say it. Enzo doesn't have enough defensive work rate. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you're speaking out. As long as it makes you happy, go ahead. Let's say we sell Enzo Fernandez. This project is over. He was again. I'm not gonna get into that. If it makes anybody happy, let them go. 48 hours of fraud. Yeah, I remember that. I know where you're going with that. They think Enzo grows on trees. Maybe it does. Maybe we'll go find another one. I would rather keep Robert Sanchez to help Pendas next season. Our owners must sign some elite players to help these young players. Let's see what happens. We have made 55 million so far in the Champions League so far. We have the money, but we're not going to spend it because we have it. I'm just going to leave it at that. Please, coach. No, but Houston, I think I defend him passionately because he's a player I understand very, very well. Some people don't, and I don't blame them. Um, Again, I don't want to start talking about him. Whenever I do, I speak about him passionately with, you can say, facts this time, not opinion. But let's see. Saar has a gut-winning mentality, but we still need experienced defenders to help our young players. We could keep Trevor Chalobah if he keeps improving, if he wants to stay. I think he might want to leave. Up to him. The wait is over. Mod Manor, why am I reading your message? I don't want Enzo sold. I don't think the club wants to sell him, except if he wants to leave. If he pushes to leave, and it's not going to be easy. Forget what you're hearing about PSG being interested, Real Madrid being interested. They're just testing waters to see if maybe he's unsettled. Given you could argue what you could call mini crisis. And if Chelsea decide they want to sell Enzo Fernandez, I don't think even 180 million will get them to sell him. And here's one thing that will happen. He's going to the World Cup. Yeah, and that's before summer. So probably, definitely, he'll have a good outing there. Come back even better. And then if you tell Chelsea you want to buy him, okay, better.
Imagine they win it again. They win it.
Especially if they win it again. You think our owners, they're not into nurturing and selling. It'd have to take the player pushing to leave before they sell him. And I think eventually people did see that we actually have a good team. It wasn't perfect, but we were able to still win the Club World Cup and the Conference League. 2 trophies. Actually, we've won 2 trophies in 2026, right? What year did we win the trophy? Am I
What?
mixing things up? Oh,
No,
2025, right?
five. No, yeah, it's
2025.
only been a month,
So
coach.
yeah, okay, yeah. So my yes, then we've actually won two. We won 2 good trophies last year. So this year we still have a chance to win at least one. But I think we can actually end up winning 2 trophies.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
need to win 4 trophies. We have to double it every year, coach.
exactly. So, but I think we have a good squad. It wasn't perfect. Maybe we actually, I'd say 1, 2, 3 defenders away from being tied to contenders next season. Actually, 1 or 2.
Let me just say this as well, coach.
Mhm.
Every successful team, amazing team that's won things has a player like Enzo Fernandez, basically. Every
Yeah,
team has that. So, you know,
and
we
I
have
think
it as well.
the owners know that. The manager knows that.
Yeah, and it's not. I'm not just saying that. It's been proven. We won the Club World Cup with him. Okay, Conference League, but Club World Cup against quality opposition. He's won the World Cup. He's won the Copa Libertadores on a successful team. So yes, and at the World Cup, he was the star. He won the young player of the tournament because he was young, so he wasn't going to win the
I
best player
remember
of the
that
tournament.
beautiful coiler. I guess what country?
Yeah. That was even Messi. Like held his head. He's like, "Wow, what a goal!" So yeah, look, that was an important goal. That was part of them winning it. So yeah, look, he was very important for them, and I think he's going to be very, very important in this tournament coming up for them. A key player, basically. He's going to be one of their most important players. So he's already proven it that he can do it. He's a world class player. I don't know why people keep thinking he's just an average footballer. I don't know what more they need to see.
Yeah. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the conversation this particular evening. It's still 6:53 p.m. CST. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. We'll be rounding up soon. Nothing new emerged. I checked Vince's timeline. Everything there. Things we've already discussed. Louise, for what? Listen, it's not like we're signing him for an area where we're in dire need of reinforcement. We're signing him for, you can say, for area on the pitch where you could argue we can actually do with what we have and still be fine. But we're just getting the cover. We don't want to find ourselves in a situation where if anything happens to one of the players we have available for that position, we'll start struggling. So not too concerned, really, in my opinion. Yeah, I read that already. The clock is ticking. It will be 4 years next season. We need to keep our certain players, bring some experience. We have them, and we've already won 2 trophies, one European trophy and the biggest club trophy in the world. Why do people not mention that? Because yeah, they were arguing that it would take like 10 years before we start winning. And I can assure you, I understand the project now better than I do before. They're being proactive, and I think we're getting there in terms of the crop of players we currently have. But we do need a few signings to make us even better, which I think they do. They're not stupid. They didn't just spend that much money uh, because they have it and want to lose it. It just doesn't make sense. That argument
Sorry,
doesn't
coach, just
fly.
add to the the Louise, sorry, not David Louise, Douglas Luiz.
Mhm.
Um, his salary, so he's on for 135 per week at Juventus, but I think he's on much less at so Juventus are covering some of the salary, and then Nottingham Forest are
So
not
that
paying
makes
his
it
salary.
you could say not that much of a burden from a financial perspective.
Yeah, so it won't be quite that much either. I don't think Chelsea will pay his full salary. I don't think, they will do that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, look, if you can get him under £100,000 per week, even less, which I think they'll probably try to get him less. Well, that's a good deal to have cover an experienced player. It's a good deal. You're not going to find anyone else for that caliber. You're not going to buy someone now. You won't be able to do that. So this is the only option really, a loan. And if he's available and the price is right, And like I said, he hasn't played and fitted in that well at Nottingham Forest. Well, his price will probably go even lower. So I think that's why Chelsea are probably interested. It's a low risk for them. And like you said, just in case someone gets injured, well, then he can fill in. He can definitely fill in. And for certain games, he's still a very, very good player if he's fit.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you for saying that. Nothing new much, Bobby. Anything else you want to talk about? I know you probably already dozed off. And if you understand, if
No,
you have any
I'm
questions,
still
go
here.
ahead. Go ahead, Bobby.
Bobby's still disappointed he's not tall.
No,
Douglas
I'm
Luiz
still.
is not tall.
No, who are you talking about?
No. You say you're still disappointed that Douglas Luiz isn't tall.
Oh, right. Well, I've made my point. I'm tired of explaining. If you want a team full of vertically challenged players who provide a very simple um, um, game plan to the opponent, then so be it.
Just
That's
get
your
the
choice.
result. It doesn't have to be pretty for me.
You
Yeah,
need to
Bobby,
be
let me
able
ask
to
you this:
mitigate
Would you take like
various
a
scenarios.
Casemiro from Manchester United, for
No,
example?
I'll take Casemiro. I would.
no, I wouldn't.
Experience.
I would not.
Okay.
I
He's
think
not a
even
good
if we
player.
look to sign him, Bobby, it'd be because not necessarily because of him playing
He's
on
a,
being on the pitch.
he's a player I've watched quite a lot.
No,
He's not,
do you get my point, Bobby? I understand where you're coming from.
Mm.
It's no longer, and we have numbers in that department. If I hear that we're making a move to sign him, I'd let you know upfront that we're not signing him necessarily because he's going to play a lot and win us a lot, but he brings winning mentality. He's won how many, like 10 million Champions Leagues and
winning,
how many
winning, men,
trophies?
winning mentality doesn't come because you won trophies with another club. Winning mentality comes with your understanding of the culture and the team around you.
Hmm.
Somebody like John Terry wasn't the captain he was because he just popped up from Man City. He was part of Chelsea's fabric. Someone like Cesar Azpilicueta wasn't the leader he was because he just popped up. He came through the ranks, he went through the system. You need that foundational knowledge, that application, connection to the team
So you
and the
don't think
fans.
he'd be of any value to the
He'll be
squad
of
if we
no
were to
value
sign
to
him?
us whatsoever. He'll just come in as a stranger. You can't bring what he had elsewhere. It's certain things aren't that transferable. You really need to be careful with this. Oh, we need an experienced player sort of thing. It really has to be the right type. Someone like Thiago Silva was the right type. He understood how to apply himself. And even he had to take his time. But because he came with a certain pedigree and he carried himself in a certain way, um, he
Here's what you
he he
said.
fitted in.
That point right there. Carried himself in a certain way, carried himself differently. And I think Casemiro isn't Silva in terms of character, the way they carry themselves. Thiago Silva is very, you could say, listen, I don't know any of them personally, but I'd say from an outside, given what I've seen, what I know, I think it'd be accurate to say Silva more humble than Casemiro.
Both very professional. They're very professional players. They take their job very seriously and they work very hard.
But Silva
Casemiro, even
does
at
come
this
across
age,
as a
he's
more
playing.
humble of the two players.
Yeah, you haven't seen him make any trouble ever, Casemiro. He hasn't made trouble at Man United or nothing. He's been played by all the managers there. So that tells you he's a true professional. And yeah, he takes his job very seriously and he still can do it at a high level on certain
But it
occasions,
doesn't
certain
look like he
matchups.
has leadership qualities, does he?
Of course, no, he has. Of course, he has. I mean, you don't win as much as he did. He's won even at Manchester United. Let's not forget they won.
He's won like I think two or one. I think one.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know the UEFA Cup and stuff, but I can't remember if he won one earlier on. No, under Ten Hag as well. Yeah, he's won. Did he win two? No, one. I can't remember. Anyway, he's won there as well. So he's a true professional. He never complains. That guy. He's always available if he's asked. It would be available. Like Thiago Silva, true professional. Yeah, they're both quite leaders. Yeah, look, it wouldn't do harm, but I kind of agree with Bobby. Yeah, not now.
Oh
Maybe
my
not coming
gosh,
in now
he
after being.
agreeing with Bobby.
Yeah, no, because his age, he's quite old now, and yeah,
He'd be a stranger. I agree with that one.
he's a bit of a stranger, correct? Because
Yeah.
Man United, no, you know, if he
That's how
came from
Bobby
Real
put it.
Madrid to Chelsea,
I
that's
just need a
different.
tap in there.
Yeah, from Real Madrid, if he came to Chelsea, well, that's a bit different. But being a Man United and that, and then coming, I kind of agree with that. Yeah,
All right, Bobby, go ahead. Sorry, we cut you off.
No, for me, Casemiro, no. You don't just bring somebody because they're old and have had a good career. That's senseless.
and he's tall
Experience.
and he's physical. You know, that's why.
Casemiro is not tall. He's
He's
just
6'2", I think. He's pretty tall. That's
he's,
pretty.
he's
He's
not.
strong as well.
What is it? Why do you get so offended about height? How tall are you, Dante? Just out of curiosity, you get really upset about this height thing.
I'm
Is
not.
it?
I'm just saying. That's why I said,
No,
would you
you
take
are. You
Casemiro at
you
taller?
you
You said
dig and dig and
Douglas
dig.
Luiz
It's
is not
okay.
tall enough. He's not good, so you wouldn't take him because you thought he was taller. But when you found out he's not, then you said no.
He doesn't have the physicality required in my opinion. It's not. You could be. I'll give you an example. There's this guy. He was with
Coach, are you on
the
mute? Sorry, are you talking,
Wolves.
Coach?
He was with Wolves. He's a very big guy. He looks like a boxer. He's got, he's got a lot of apparent physicality, but I can't hear you, coach. Your lips are
We can't hear
moving.
you, Coach. I can't hear you either. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
not.
I was saying, Bobby's saying that you're obsessed with people not being tall. Bobby's also obsessed with people being
Being
too
tall,
But,
yeah,
short.
but I'm not. But you see, what you call an obsession to me
No,
is an
Bobby, you're obsessed with
obsession.
physicality and people's
Yeah,
and
height.
height.
because we
Bobby,
don't
no,
have
nobody should take
enough.
anything personally here. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah, you misunderstand. We don't have enough. You
No,
have
no,
to
but I get that.
understand that
Listen,
there are
Bobby, we're
teams.
just having fun now. I
Okay,
get that aspect.
look
Yeah.
at Arsenal for you guys don't because it keeps coming up. Look at Arsenal for example. They have a mix of players of different height with the back set of players usually of a good physical height and a good physical level of strength. There's no point being tall and spindly. You have to have at least that fitness to go with it. And it's a major part of the game. I gave an example on, I can't remember a platform. Somebody crossed the ball in this Pathos game for uh, Esteval. Now, it was a perfect cross, but Esteval isn't the tallest of players, and you don't always have to be. But what he did nearly gave him a bad injury. He had to overcompensate, so he leapt for a ball.
No, Bobby, somebody he was nudged. I
Whatever's the
understand what your
case,
point, but he was
whatever.
nudged.
You
To his
see, this is
body.
Anybody
why
here
I'm
is
saying the
yeah, but go
obsession
ahead.
is with you, because I'm talking and you all quickly jump to the defense. Let me make my point if it isn't such a sticking point for you guys.
All right, go ahead.
If he was, for example, somebody of greater height, he that nudge wouldn't have been so damaging. If he would have gone up, probably out got the ball, and if he was nudged at all, he wouldn't have had to fall because he wouldn't have been the leap wouldn't have had to be so much off the ground, and the impact wouldn't be so great. Now that
Bobby,
is a
you're talking about
minor
a winger, a
example.
small
Here we
winger.
go, more
Wingers not
attack.
tall.
Morata, this is your issues, not mine, because you can't listen. I mentioned height, and you guys are defensive. And I wonder, I'd love to see how tall both of you are. And if you guys aren't really very tall, and I'm saying
Bobby,
things
I'm
that
6 foot.
kind of get to you,
I'm 6 foot.
well, then
Mhm.
it shouldn't be such a personal issue.
No
It's
one
not
It's
takes
an
it
personal,
personal. We're
Bobby.
having
observation.
a conversation. You're
You're
the one
taking it
sounding like
personally.
taking
I'm
it
sorry,
personal
but
I,
now.
it's not
I'm
We're just
personal.
having fun, Bobby.
I'm responding to the weeks and weeks and weeks of attack whenever I mention this
It's not an
topic.
attack, Bobby. Don't
I
nobody attacks you.
remember when we had
Do you
Matic
know even those in
in
the chat
midfield.
knows you to always talk about height
Yeah,
and
because
physicality?
of your reaction,
No,
yours and
no, Bobby.
particularly
Come on.
Dante's reaction. I'm not saying it in a bad way or with any bad blood or with any argument. I'm making an observation. It's
Neither are we, but yeah.
Go ahead.
it's just something. I mean, you have a team that every single team you come against, you are the weaker link. You are the weaker team. Height wise, you're the smaller. Look at us at corners and set pieces. Mismatches all the time, all the time. Even our tall defenders are usually, we don't have this odd player like, back in the day, our DMs, Mikel, he was there to help. He would often head the ball before he got to the centre backs. Matic, the same thing, not to mention Drogba, that will sometimes come back and help the defense. That's the point I'm making. If you have a team full of physically and vertically challenged players, you're going to struggle and they're going to have to go that extra bit of effort to keep up with the English game. It's not I'm not saying it out of any sort of prejudice or anything. It is a clear observation that is so obvious to me. Why do you think, I tried to give you guys the example about, why do you think these teams that aren't so technically gifted resort to the long throws and then put somebody like that guy, that striker, the ex Chelsea academy boy for Charlton, in the box? Big, tall guy. Why do you think many of these clubs do that? Because it is an advantage. And if you don't have the advantage, you can suffer if your tactics aren't excessively spot on. And that's the point I'm making. I think we neglect a simple part of the game that even people like Pep Guardiola don't neglect. Mikel Arteta learnt, and now he doesn't neglect it.
All right, can
And
I
I
ask
think,
you this, Bobby? Do you know we're actually one of, okay, not height really, but do you know we're actually at least one of the most physical team in the Premier League?
yeah, because of we're so small, and it is a criticism, and the boys know that, so they try and overcompensate. That's partly why we get so many cards, because
Bobby,
we know we are not physical enough, we're not strong enough,
yeah,
so we try and make up for it with too much aggression.
Bobby, would you agree that physicality comes with, uh, you know, age, strength, core strength as you get older, the more mature players?
Are you there, Bobby? Do you hear the question?
I hear the question, but I'm trying to choose my words because I don't want it to look like I'm always fighting
It's
with
not a
Dante
fight, Bobby.
over
You
this.
are the one seeing it like
I
We're
that. It's
not
not a
fighting,
no
fight.
Bobby.
It's
no
We're
not a
having a
fight. We've said
well
discussion.
something
well
much worse to each other
well
here.
I believe not. I believe if you're physical, you're either physical or you're not. Um Gianfranco Zola, one of the best players ever to be at Chelsea, was a very little guy. With his age and experience, he actually came to Chelsea.
How
You
old
can
was
talk
he,
about, you
Bobby?
can talk
He,
about also
well, when he
Hazard.
came to Chelsea, he
Hmm.
was 31. When he left, he was about 36 or so. He
Yes,
was
that's what I
never
mean. He
young
was
at
a
Chelsea.
man.
He was never young at Chelsea, and physicality was not his game. He was technical, he was fast, he was highly gifted.
And
But,
to be
you,
honest, a
you,
good
you
mix
don't.
always good.
Well, exactly.
Mm.
You have to have some big players. Some Maradona was a little stocky guy. You go into tackles with him at ground level and you come off worse. The ball up in the air, well, of course you're going to beat him to it.
Yeah,
Although
Maradona didn't
sometimes he
feel much,
leapt so
Bobby. So
well, he would beat you to it if you guys are old enough to even know Maradona in the time he was actually playing. So
yes, I've
that's,
watched him play. Yes, yep.
I'm not just talking videos. I mean, actually, but anyway, it doesn't
I've
really
actually seen him
matter.
play live.
Oh,
Yes.
well, fantastic. Then, that's all. So when I see us play and I see some of the goals and the things we're caught out with, I'm like, oh my gosh. If for example, I think we have one of the best midfield, especially if they're all fit. I think we have one of the best midfield in the world. But we have one deficiency when it comes to a cold, wet, dreary evening up in Leeds. It's height. And what these guys are going to do, they can't match us in football, but they'll keep lobbing the ball in the air, lobbing the ball in the air. And eventually, your little guys, Caicedo, Enzo, the ball's going to go over their head, is going to come to Chalobah, go over his head, and meet the head of somebody like Walter Marde, for example. And that's just the point I'm making. I think we should, in our team, be sensible enough to deliberately look for one or two heighted players. We already have one in Mamadou Sarr, although I don't think we'll see him till next season. It's
Yeah,
probably
we have
could
a few tall players. Our defenders, some of them are quite tall, very tall.
like who? Oh, Tosin. Okay, Tosin did
Austin
well the other
6'5",
day.
Even Chalobah
Buddy
is
Shield
tall.
6'4".
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, yeah, Badia Shield. Yeah, if he's fit, we do have some, but usually they're out injured. Tosin, when he actually put his mind on his game, in the last game he played, he really was the difference. He was heading everything out
He
from the
was he
back.
was very good in that game.
Exactly. So that's the point I'm making. We don't have to have a team full of giants, but we have to strategically have one or two that will really help us because relatively we're quite small.
in the
And
right positions, yeah, in the right positions, positional, yes. But
well,
when you were saying like Esteval, he's not tall enough.
I
Do you
gave that
expect?
example because
Yes,
it was a cross. He was moving into the center forward position. He did well to get up that high, but it was an overreach, and he nearly
he's
really
not good
hurt
in the air,
himself.
Bobby. Yeah, we know he's not good in the air anyway,
That
so it
guy could
doesn't
have
really matter.
broken his back already.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear
exactly.
you, Bobby. We're just having a conversation.
So
I'm just saying that guy could have actually broken his back.
yeah, so it's a comment I make, not out of anything, just out of pure footballing reasons. For example, we play a lot of corners to the crosses to the far post, and they go nowhere. Why? Who's at the far post? Garnacho.
I think actually in most cases our
You
players
know.
trying to score from a corner kick after Reece James did it.
Yeah, well, exactly.
The tactic, yeah,
Whereas one thing I will say, though I have criticized him, and he is still very much in development. But when he was on the pitch, just the kid doesn't know how to use his head for dust. But because he has some height about him, there was a cross that came his way, and I don't know whether it hit his chest or his shoulder or what. At least he got to it. Whereas when Garnacho was on, he would never have got to that ball. And that's the point I'm making. We need that mix. Sometimes Madueke will get a header. He was hopeless at them, but he will get there because he was tall enough. That's all. So if we find somebody that's technically good enough, as well as with some height, look at the goal. João Pedro scored. He often gets a few with his head. The one against Newcastle, the movement was excellent. Why? He met it with his head and he headed it past the defender. We've got to have that. And yeah, I don't mind the odd little player, especially when they're very, very good. It's going to happen in football. Often the best players are the somewhat shorter players because they're closer to the ground, better ball control. I get it.
Mm,
exactly. Yeah.
low
You know,
center of gravity.
Exactly. But for the English game, at least, even now in the Champions League, you've got to mix it up. Look at we played Pafos. What did they do? Put a whole load of big guys at the back. Gave us
And
some
started this
problems.
they started introducing a lot more taller guys towards the end of the game.
Yeah, yeah, it
And
gave us
started
some
you
problems.
said loading the box with a lot of aerial balls. Yeah.
Although we did
Oh my
very
goodness.
well and we
Balls,
did
balls,
break
balls. Go ahead,
we
Bobby.
did break we did break through the low block. We really did. But still, it was because our players are just that level of technical gift ahead of them. But we missed a lot of chances because we lacked the physicality that they had. And these are small margins that can make the difference between winning a game and winning it well or even losing or drawing. And that's all. That's why I think, you know what, if we can get one, especially in midfield, get somebody with a little bit of height, I think you'll see the difference. That's all. That's all. I'm looking forward to Mamadou Sarr coming 6'4" at the back. Then I don't know. Probably Tosin would have to go or something. But if
And
he's
Samino
there,
is 6'3" or 4" as well. And Samino
Is it that
6'3" or
tall?
6'4".
I didn't
is
know.
he
I
that?
thought
No,
he was
I
short.
didn't.
6'3". Yeah,
I
I think
thought he
he's
was
good.
short. I
I
thought he
thought he
was.
was short. I didn't know he was tall.
But they're not all going to. I mean, Thiago Silva wasn't exactly a 6 footer, but Thiago
Achimpong is
Silva,
tall. Achampong
Yeah,
is tall
Yeah,
too.
Achipong
Achipong is
is
tall too.
tall.
Yeah, the kid is
And
tall.
I think he should be used more often. He's somebody that can step into midfield and has stepped into defensive midfield with ease. And he carries the ball and he will help the defense because of his height. He's not that big yet because he's a kid, but he's tall and he's brave. I mean, if with his stature he could manage to keep Mateta at bay in the game against Palace at
Like
Stamford
he did
Bridge,
that day, yeah.
he did, yeah. So that's all. It's not, that, I got this thing about short guys and no, not at all. I don't care how tall you are. It's just that I know that technically, tactically, I want us to be the best. I want us to be impregnable. Look at the Jose Mourinho side. They were not particularly tall, but they were what I would call strategically tall. Someone like John Terry, yeah, he's a tall guy. He's not a giant, but he's tall enough.
He's actually
Um,
pretty small for a central defender, but he
yeah,
played tall. He played strong and tall, and he's fearless.
yeah, he's a tough guy. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But so we mixed it up. Then our DMs, like there was the only time we had a little DM was Makaleli, but apart from that, there
Bobby,
was
the 15
Mikel,
goal season. What was their back for?
Terry and Carvalho.
Short,
Um,
both very short.
They were both, well, relatively, although Terry's a monster anyway. And then left and right back was usually Ferreira, and the left
Short,
was
yep.
Ashley Cole. You
Short.
know,
All four were short.
yeah. But
Very
then the
short
midfield,
defenders.
the
Yeah.
midfield, we had, Frank Lampard is a sizable guy. People like Essien, people like Mikel, you
Essien
know,
short. No, Mikel's
yeah.
tall.
But
Essien isn't tall.
Essien isn't tall,
But
but
he's
Essien
physical.
is, yeah, he's like having Lavia. Why is Lavia so effective? Lavia, if he's even half fit, is a beast. Can you imagine if Lavia was fully fit, fully fit, fully fit?
Bit of French, Bobby.
You
No,
know.
but he should be in bed already.
Well,
But go ahead, movie.
So, that's just the point I'm
Mhm.
making. We're not far off that, but I just think, it just amuses me when who was it we played? And I was looking at the set pieces. I was like, oh my God. Um, who did we play last? And we even beat them. Brentford.
Yeah.
Brentford.
Hmm.
You see how we were for the corners and that? I was
And Dante,
shocking.
Dante called it that what's his name? That Tucson was gonna start.
Yeah, Tosin really saved us that day
Yeah,
because
he
when
did.
he was on the pitch, because
Mhm.
the mismatch in those set plays. And do you know Malo Gusto? Oh my god. I didn't realize just how bad he is in the air until I really watched him.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
not
like,
his
oh
game.
my,
Yeah.
no, he needs to improve on that.
You
And
could
he's not
argue that's probably one of the main reasons why Maresca don't want to see him applying himself in a traditional manner, because
in
we've
the right
considered
back.
a few
Yeah,
goals with him being the one defending a taller player,
yeah.
and he doesn't
That's
have a
one.
good lip in him either.
No,
That's one thing he has
no,
to improve a lot on. Yeah, that's probably the one part of his game. Yeah.
yeah.
So now everybody can, if you understood that, you'd know that was why Maresca was using him the way he did. Uh, because yeah, but on the carpet he can put in slide tackles. He's quick, but once
Yeah.
it comes to, you can say, defending the aerial ball, forget about it.
Recovery. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's very good. Like he's quick. Like you said, he recovers well. He
Ooh,
sticks with his
his
man pretty well.
recovery. I enjoy watching him put in slide tackles. You will not cross him, and he hardly ever gets it wrong.
Yeah, so he's good in that. Yeah, he's still. Let's not forget, he's still very young. So yes,
It's,
people think he's like in his prime. They talk about him sometimes. People forget he's very, very young.
you know
So
why it's like that? These kids, they emerge onto the big scenes early on in their career. So because of how many times people have seen them, sometimes when you ask them how old is a particular player, they think he's in his late 20s.
exactly,
How old is Jean Felix now? People
20,
probably think he's close to 30.
No.
25, I think.
Let me check.
Oh,
I
Joao
think at
Felix.
most 25. But
Oh
people
yeah,
think
it's
he's close
about
to
that.
30
Yeah.
because he's one of those that emerged onto the scene very early on in his career. But let me check. So, because how many
26.
times people have seen him or them, when you ask them how old a particular player is, they usually think he should be a lot older or maybe be expecting a lot from them. Jean Felix age, at
26 going to
most
26.
25.
He
Ah,
just
come on,
turned
what is it?
26 in November. Yeah.
26 in November. So he's still 25, yeah. But I
No, he's
remember
26.
4 5 years,
He's
yeah.
26. He's turned
Yeah, he's
26
26 now.
November.
Yeah, at most. Yeah, 26. But still, you think he's close to 30. Yeah, cannot be more than 26. Yeah, but when some people would probably think he should be around 30 or close to 30. But Bobby, go ahead. Sorry if we didn't distract you from what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. We're not far away. Chelsea is about two, maybe three players away from being an exceptional team. And to do that, you have to take into account your deficiencies.
Be
If
strategic in the
possible,
market.
yeah, if possible. I mean, we're looking at this defender. What does that mean? People are saying such and such. It might affect them. It might affect them. I mean, for me, it's just that I can't blame what's his name, Rosenior. I think he's not had any training time with the team. He has to allow the team to use their residual memory from Maresca and the few alterations that he'll bring. He has to keep it simple, just like Tuchel had to when he came, at least until the preseason.
Till it goes
But
bad, Bob, like Conte.
Hmm.
if he can just be brave enough to start applying um Josh in midfield. He did towards the end of that Brentford game when we went the Alamo and started defending. He had everybody on, and I think Josh stepped into that area. I think we have to use that in some games and at some points in the game management. And if we do, we're fine. We have the players, but we tend not to be able to use them in the areas where they will be very helpful to us for various reasons. Sometimes we've struggled so much to get fitness out of Badiashile that he comes on and looks a worse player than he actually is. Tosin, the one time he gives us a good performance, he ends up pulling his hamstring. I mean, you can't make that up. You can't make this shit up. Sorry. It's crazy. It's like we
Look,
never
Wilson
have,
was good before as well. Let's not people forget early in the season he was very
yeah.
good,
You
but
know, we,
obviously he had a bit of a bad run when he came back from his injury, and he finally
well,
the last couple of games he's looked back to himself. But now again, yeah,
this is it. Our players don't seem to have a good fitness run. I think Liam Delap is a very good striker. He's our only natural striker, but he's still in a recovery pathway. It was illness, then then it was the physical stuff, or it was the physical stuff, then it was the illness. So he's still not quite there 100%. And it's unfortunate. I think, as we said at the beginning of the season, that what will make Chelsea's season is having a fit squad. And I was so happy with one thing that Rosinia said in his post match, that when they were asking about why he took off Reece James and why Palmer wasn't there, he was talking and prioritizing the fitness and the longevity of the players through playing Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, or Sunday. So that's just my point,
yeah. And Rich James was poor, very poor that first half as
because he
well.
he's also just recovering from
Sick
illness.
as well, yeah.
That may well have been it,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Enzo, Enzo Fernandez, he was ill. It's just, I think he was the person that he was referring to. It was his birthday. He played, and I think because he was ill, he was having chest pain, and he played the full 90. And he's the guy that Rosinia was saying. I told him to go and enjoy his birthday and have an Argentine steak in a restaurant. our players we've never had a fully fit season. And, one thing about Mourinho's sides is that they were always fit. They were always fit, those guys. You would always have Carvalho, you would always have John Terry, you always have Ashley Cole, and you will always have Paulo Ferreira at the back. They were always there. Our midfield, you always have Lampard. Lampard was never. I can't remember one time Lampard was injured. You always had Drogba. More maybe sometimes you'll have a niggle here and there, but then you have Anelka, and then you have Kalu coming off the bench.
We
You
had
know,
depth,
you,
but also they didn't quite. It was a bit different type of football back then as well. It wasn't the
that's
same.
true.
They don't run. If you look at stats, how much they ran 15 years ago, 10 years ago compared to today, it's a difference. There's a difference.
Did they run more now or then?
More now. Yeah, more now. Players run more now. Coaches and the modern game ask more of athletes these days. You're going to run more than they did back then. Back then, formations were a bit more simple as well. Now you have all the extra positional play where you have to, play there, invert, go left, go right, come back as a winger. You got to defend as well as a winger. You can't be a winger like Hazard was, and all of these players. They didn't need to defend. The team carried them, but these days you don't see players like that. So players run a lot more, and there's a lot more games, a lot more international games, a lot more European games, as in Champions League, Cup games. The season is usually, they run, how much was it? I can't remember how much it was per game more. It doesn't sound much, but when you add it up, it's a lot. It's like around 15 to 20, sort of 15 games, I think it was. They run this day and age more than they did back then. So you're adding like another 15 sort of games. So imagine they had another 15, 20 games back then. I think you'll see a lot more injuries.
All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about, or should we call it a day? I think it's been an excellent conversation, and 31 likes plus almost 2,000 views. I'm seeing that in the back end, 1,664 views. I don't know. Dante, anything else you want us to talk about?
No, that's it. No, just for that point. Yeah, modern football is, they expect players to play every week, a full calendar year, basically. These days they play non-stop, basically, most of the players. They don't get many breaks these days. They used to get a lot of long breaks before. Now there's a tournament every year, basically, and there's something every year they play. They continuously play international, and they play a lot of games. And like I said, the modern game is a lot of running. Defensively, it's a lot more running, and offensively. So there's a lot more load, and that's where you see a lot more injuries these days.
All right, Bobby, thank you so much for finding the time to join the conversation, and the captain of the community in Constantine then too. I cannot thank you guys enough. It's been an excellent discussion. Thank you to Mastermind at Chelsea FC. Thank you for joining the conversation. Thank you to Namaya Fowler, who was here. Thank you to Richard Money Makers. Tabejo was also here. Who else was here? Shanks was here. Chimera was here. Maki Neum was here. And if I miss your name, apologies. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge, we rise, never wrong. With every goal, we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand. Oh yeah. The blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we we share, each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable, hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. We're unstoppable, hear the roar. In blue we trust forevermore. Together we sing hand in hand. For Chelsea forever we'll stand. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. Chelsea, the dream keeps us strong. Through every challenge we rise, never wrong. With every goal we fly, hearts on fire. The passion unites us, takes us higher. Keep on singing, support never fades. Together we stand in this blue brigade. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we stand, oh yeah. Blue flag flying high, fly high. From Stamford Bridge, the pride that we share. Each kickoff, each moment, it feels so rare. With faith in our hearts, we chase the dream. Through every match day, we're part of the team. The love for our club is a powerful thing. Together we shout, let the victory ring. Tonight is our night. For Chelsea we